Thanks for the feeling good story there, Joe.
Worst talk radio I ever heard in my life was on WIOD. I will not give it to you.
What's the question?
The worst talk radio I ever heard in my life was on WIOD. I will not give it to you.
What word did you say? That is great radio.
All right.
George Bush, there's a place you can land so that you can avoid Vietnam. Now you said you served active duty just fine, but you be absent in your mind. George Bush, your position's at stake, 'cause John Kerry is out to seal your fate. It's those questions about the National Guard that might leave your reputation scarred. It's fun to say you're not AWOL, and you can't prove you're not AWOL. What a funny thing, the military can't find where you were in that 1 year's time. You partied and you went AWOL. Your daddy helped you go AWOL.
Absolutely.
If you'd only come clean with a story that's real, you might earn back voter appeal.
10:02 at 560 WQM. Unhappy Tuesday to you. Ordinarily I say happy, but unhappy Tuesday because it's not a happy day. Lots of crap going down. Well, that thing is really
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Is that how it ended?
That's exactly how it ended. Kind of just like that.
Sparing
that
no
was
expense.
beautiful. Let me just play the ending of that one more time.
With a story that's real, you might earn back voter appeal.
I guess it's so you can fade into your own stuff.
That's beautiful. Anyway, look at this. Nadine in Morris Plains. Now, are we back on the internet again? Are we streaming it?
Who are you asking?
Well, we must be because she heard me yesterday. So Nadine in Morris Plains, New Jersey, who's faxed us before, says, a very scary taste of censorship chilled my bones yesterday morning. I clicked on listen live, Neil, and nothing. I go back to the Garlic Festival and your first days on the computer, and I freaked out. Remember the Garlic Festival? Oh, my God.
I'll never forget it as long as
How we all take our freedom of choice for granted. Well, everyone, don't, Nadine says. Get off your butts or right and call those in power for now. Do something now to protect and really keep us free, says the lovely but very naive Nadine. So I popped in ass to ass, or is it bottom to bottom, and enjoyed Requiem for a Dream until once again I heard you. So obviously we're on there. And she says, I love Neil Rogers and Johnny Depp. What magnificent chase taste she's got, right?
Is she chased?
I'm sure Johnny's been chased a few times. Would have been by me if I didn't have to take a big dump that day he was at Zeta. That was unfortunate. But at any rate. Bubba Love Sponge is canned in Tampa. He's out.
Canned Bubba.
Howard Stern's running about a 500-minute delay now on Infinity. And you ain't seen nothing yet, man. This is just a scary, scary, horrendous, grotesque thing that's just starting now. You can kiss your ass and your freedoms goodbye, folks. They're gone. And the really sad part of it is that there ain't nobody. Wait till we get to that Rolling Stone article. There ain't nobody in Congress that I can see on the horizon, including any of these contenders and pretenders who've got the balls to stand up. Well, you don't want to stand up for smut, do you?
No.
Stand up for filth and disgusting perversion and videos and stuff like that and incubus?
No.
No way. All those flying Hitlers out there? We'd much rather go see the flying Jesus ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do our poll on. Now, yesterday you poo-pooed my poll, which shame on you. We had 1,213 votes.
Caca.
Poop.
Watch that.
That was George who did the old caca. And it's a damn good thing you cut him off right at the pass there, the Mad Dog.
All right. Mad Dog.
Because he tends to have a loose tongue. You know, those ex-jock, those jock guys. Potty mouth jocks. There's no special dispensation for potty mouth jocks no more, by the way. I want to announce that. In the past, because, you know, the FCC figured, well, they're athletes. What do they know about broadcasting, right? But guess what? No more of that. You're done, man. No more crap. Anyway, so we had 1,213 votes. Who was your all-time favorite, other than South Florida personalities, who was your all-time favorite radio personality? I think it's pretty simple. It speaks for itself. Not your favorite 20 or 30, but pick one that you like the best. I voted for Dick Purton myself.
How many can
I always
you name?
liked Dick. 1218, Bruce Bradley and Joel Sebastian had
No!
None, which is so embarrassing. Oh, my God. That's terrible. Bob, I'm going from the bottom. Oh, I don't want to read them all, do I? That'll take hours. No, I don't want to do that. From the top down, Wolfman Jack 261, which I told you, a no-brainer. Dr. Demento 111, because that's our crowd, you know? Plus the fact he was on all over the country.
Including here.
Casey Kasem 70. Yeah, but he wasn't broadcasting from... Casey Kasem 70. Gene Shepard 62, no matter how you spell it. Cousin Brucey 62. A dead flat-footed tie, even though Cousin Brucey was on INZ years ago. We gave him a special dispensation for his piece. Larry Lujak 49. Guglielmo Marconi 48. What a show he had, man. Had a better signal than we got.
Yeah.
The Grease Man 43. Dick Clark 38. Dick Purton 36. Dick got my vote. Murray the K 32. Scott Muni 31. Allison Steele 29. Dan Ingram 25. Kimosabe. Charles Lacadera in Boston 20. Who was the newsman on WBZ with a name like that? What the hell was his name? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. They had such a great news sounder on WBZ. Maybe somebody will find that for us someday. Oh, that was such a great station. Back when, and then that was the whole point of my poll, is there used to be great radio stations, not no mo. And the way it's going right now, I told George before the show, and I'm really serious, the day is coming soon, boys and girls, and I'm sure they're hoping they can do it before the election, when the only people you hear on radio anywhere in America, from Des Moines to Poughkeepsie to South Florida to Eugene, anywhere, will be Rush and Phil.
Okay.
And Todd Schmeck and Gordon Liddy and Ollie North. Who's some of the other? And Michael Medved. And who's that other rabid right-winger from the West Coast? Michael, what's his name?
Jackson.
That idiot. And Joe Scarborough. Those would be the only people that will be on. Dr. Laura, of course. Round the clock. That day is coming. Let's see. Greaseman Dick Clark. Who did I leave off? Murray the K 33. Scott Muni 31. Elton Steele 29. Dan Ingram 25. Charles Lacadera 20, Steve Dahl 19, Dick Biondi 18, Chris Thomas 17, Alan Freed 17, Rick Dees and Bob Collins each had 16 vote. Arnie Ginsberg, woo-woo, had 13, William B. Williams 13, J.P. McCarthy was so boring, great voice, boring. Alan Berg and Buana Johnny, they each had 12. Gary D. Oh, that's D-E-E, not Gary D with a D. Come on, Josh. 11. Brother Wheeze and Arthur Godfrey each had 10, and after that, Jerry Blavitt, High-Lit, had 8. Herb Oscar Anderson, 8, Bill Bailey, 8, Long John Neville, 7, and you don't want to know the rest. You don't want to know. Now, here's today's poll. Let me get this out of the way. We can put it up right now, Eric, and then you can go put your house back together again. Eric just got through moving. We don't want to bother him a lot, do we?
Yeah.
No, we don't. See, there you go again. Do we want to really bug Eric?
Yes.
See, that's George doing that, by the way. I'm not doing it, Eric. George keeps...
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Don't we want to leave him alone today?
No.
Let him put all his house together after they just got through moving up there in Orlando? Hey, look for the QM van today before we get to the pool. Look for the QM van, noon to 2, at the Shell gas station on the corner of 136th Ave and Sunrise Boulevard. See, that's not Flamingo, George. That's 136th Ave, which
I was
is
asked about Flamingo State. So
up the road a piece. It's right where you turn to go to the Panthers. By the way, Joe is right. That Roberto Luongo, man, he just might get the Hart Trophy and be the MVP in the whole NHL. The only problem with that is nobody cares. And they still got a shot for the playoffs. The unfortunate part, Montreal won last night, so the Panthers are still 8 points out of the 8th spot, and they're 3 points behind Buffalo. But Luongo is just impenetrable, which I hope he forgets about that tomorrow when the Leafs come to town. But nevertheless, the Leafs, who lost to a girls' team, Carolina, again last night, boy, they got some serious problems, those make-believes. I'll tell you that right now. But let's get enough of that hockey talk. Look for the QM van, noon to 2 at the Shell gas station, corner of 136th Ave and Sunrise Boulevard. Stop by to register to win a pair of front row tickets to an upcoming Panthers home game. See?
I didn't say
Plus,
that
the
was
first
Flamingo.
5 people to show up to the van receive a pair of tickets to see the Capitals game this Friday. So all of a sudden, we're Panther intensive.
That's not Flamingo.
What?
I didn't say it was.
You asked me before, was there a Shell station at Flamingo and Sunrise? And I said
That's
no.
right, because they were the people.
It's 136, which is also called, something Parkway. You know what the name is?
Rectum.
No, not
No.
Rectum Parkway. A different highway, not the Hershey Highway. But what's the name of the hockey team?
The Panther Highway?
Panther
Parkway.
Parkway. Very good. There we go.
That's PP.
136. Everybody knows that Shell station's been here a long time. There's a McDonald's right next to it, and that's where the QM van will be noon to 2 today. Now, here's today's poll. Now that this Jesus movie is coming out, the Yoshki stuff is going heavy duty now. I got a column in from the New York Daily News that is so good. Woo! By Jamie Bernard. She's an award-winning film critic and columnist for the Daily News. and author of a bunch of books. She's pretty sharp. She don't take no wooden nickels. But we'll get to that. What's your take? This is our poll today on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of Christ movie. Why are we getting calls here? WQAM?
Yeah, can I talk to Neil a minute?
Yes, go ahead. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Neil, the name you're looking for is Gary LaPierre. And
Gary LaPierre, right.
There you go. And don't forget about Dick Summer. He wasn't on the list. He was the best.
Do you know I once got a letter from Dick Summer when I was in WIOD, and he said he was vacationing in Florida?
Really?
And he just a really glowing thing about how he heard my show and he thought I was a great broadcaster and he loved me. I've saved it. I got it around somewhere from the great Dick Summer.
He is a great guy. I remember.
You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Dick Cavett a lot. He had that same kind of sound. And he used to do those amazing talk. Remember, he used to do those unbelievable talk-ups. Those he would give you like a whole story. He'd start in on a story, and then he'd come like in the middle of a record, and it was just phenomenal.
He wrote his own poetry.
Yeah,
and
he was
put
great.
music to it. He was inventive as hell. He's still around. You hear him on TV all the time on voiceovers.
Right. Those were the days, man.
Guy must have been in his 70s by now.
Those were the days. Jefferson K. and Dave Maynard. It was great. Have a great day, pal.
Okay, babe.
And, of course, don't forget my buddy Larry Glick and his lemonade stand. What's your take on a much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of Christ movie? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 choices. If you want to see Sofia Vergara's ass, by the way, you can see it on our website today.
That's wallpaper worthy.
And it was a real Alyssa Milano picture. Whether Rich Pachter likes it or not, George does very studious investigation on these. That was not a stunt picture of Alyssa Milano yesterday, you phony bastard, you Rich. Sofia Vergara's ass. It's a very tasteful picture. It's not really what I would call a pornographic picture, thank the Lord.
No.
Anyway, can I finish with this poll? What's your take on a much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of Christ movie? I will see it. I might see it if I hear it's good. I definitely won't see it. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis. Non-believers should just ignore it. Or even the Pope would be proud of this marketing. There are 7 pretty good choices. There may be a little slop over there.
To choose, yeah, a lot of overlapping. A lot of these are
Did you say something about the Jews again? Better cut it out.
Choose.
They already got enough problems already with this Farbissina Goy, this Mel Gibson. Wait till I get to this column. And then we got the thing about Ellis Rubin is looking for publicity again. You know, maybe I won't even read that thing. Because between Ellis Rubin and Norma Kent, I don't want to give either one of them. And don't call here anymore, Norma, bugging me in the middle of watching Passions yesterday. What an idiot. Right in the middle of when it's getting the good part there, where it's about time. And all of a sudden, here's the phone ringing. It's Norma Kent. Well, and the only reason you called here, Norma, yesterday was to tell me about how Ellis Rubin was putting on that stunt for more publicity with that phony gay wedding there in Fort Lauderdale, and about how you're quoted in the paper this morning, all outraged. Hell, cocksahoys. 10:13 at 560 WQM. If you decided that your job is going nowhere, you're like on a treadmill, you know, your feet are moving, but your life is going nowhere, then why not make that a big fat paycheck? And you can do that by having yourself some skills, a career. All you do is make one easy call to Fast Train. We've been talking to you about these folks for years. 1-866 Train. You call to start a brand new high-paying computer career. Because in just 4 short months, Fast Train can help you get that career. The demand for computer professionals continues to grow. So if you're sick and tired of working for peanuts, if your life just ain't worth living, pick up that phone today and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. And with 7 locations in town, Fast Train's got to have a campus nearby you. It just makes sense. Fast Train offers job placement, financial assistance for people who qualify. With day, night, and weekend classes, no excuse, no more to stay in a dead-end job. And like I said, if you register right now, you can have that new high-paying career by summertime, before the summer's end. So call Fast Train and you can have a big, impressive paycheck, too. Check them out on the web if you like at fasttrain.com, and then make that call that could really change your life in a most positive way. Be sure and tell them that Todd Dreck told you to call toll-free 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
I want a full investigation.
The children. What about the children? The children.
I want a full investigation.
The children. What about the children? The children. What about the children?
Michael Powell wanna know where to move that. Drop a foul about a gal's little deep tap. He don't want you to ever to see that. Or to do, or to think, or to say crap. And I'm qualified to spoil this rat. Got the gig as a gift from his old man. That should tell you where the hell his head's at. Boots got coral, crowds are flushing. They close their eyes and play the yucky. Save the soul gone from nudity. That's gay. Who's that new fishing queen? Michael Powell wanna know where to move that. And if he finds that to show that he has the mind of a 5-year-old lad. Violation's good, but sex is so bad. He Needs a graham cracker milk and a long nap. Thanks to the job that he got from his dad. We got a moralist FCC. If you don't want your children seeing nudity, that's your own responsibility. Clean your own mess up, don't bother me with this. I don't wanna babysit your kid. Michael Powell wanna know where to move that. He didn't like what he saw when he sat on the toilet with a feminine backpack. It was protected from a boob in that sack. I'm just sissy that likes to grandstand. Michael Powell wanna know where to move that. Michael Powell wanna know where to move that.
It's 10:18. You ought to look in the mirror. That would be a good start. Anyway, speaking of Michael Powell, before we even get to this Passion of Christ, this Yushki stuff, poor Eric, by the way, don't have any pull.
My bad.
You didn't fax him the pull?
No, I had my head
See, Eric, George is sticking it to you again. He did that intentionally. There's no question about it. Fax, would you please fax him the pull so we can get that thing started so we don't have to, like, tie him up for hours and hours and hours and he go about his moving? Popular radio host Todd Clem, better known as Bubba the Love Sponge, no kin to Square Bob Sponge Pants, is apparently getting the axe. WFLA Radio is reporting that 98 Rock and Clear Channel Communications have severed ties with Bubba. That means he's fired. He's out. He is finito. How do you like that?
I'm going to kick his ass, and then I'll steal his toupee.
The station said a press release from Clear Channel Communications headquarters in San Antonio will be issued today with all the gory details. Clear Channel was fined nearly $1 million by the FCC because of remarks and actions on Bubba's show. Commissioner said the show was indecent. After that incident, the FCC warned Clear Channel it would consider taking away 98 Rock's radio license if there were any further instances of indecency. Bubba was also taken to court by our good friends at People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals for the on-air butchering of a pig, which we remember that very well. Didn't like it. They didn't find it amusing. Bay News 9, Channel 9 in Tampa, hasn't been able to reach Bubba for any comments yet, is what the latest thing was on the web. But we'll keep our eye on it. We're waiting breathlessly for the announcement from Cheap Channel, what kind of story they make up, covering their ass. Now, also very interesting. Can I just pass this along?
Okay.
Interesting and disturbing before we get to the other stuff. American investigators were given the first name and telephone number of one of the 9/11 hijackers 2.5 years before the attacks on New York and Washington, but the U.S. appears to have failed to pursue the lead aggressively, American and German officials say. The information, the earliest known signal that the U.S. received about any of the hijackers, has now become an important element of an independent commission's investigation into the events of 9/11, officials said yesterday. It's considered especially significant because it may have represented a missed opportunity for American officials to penetrate the al-Qaeda terror cell in Germany that was at the heart of the plot. And it came roughly 16 months before the hijackers showed up at flight schools in the U.S. 16 months before. Wouldn't you have thought that they might have labeled this guy a person of interest, so to speak? In March 99, German intelligence officials gave the CIA the first name and telephone number of Marwan al-Shihi and asked the Americans to track him. The name and phone number in the UAR, in the United Arab Emirates, has been obtained by the Germans by monitoring the telephone of Mohammed Haidar Zamar, an Islamic militant in Hamburg who was closely linked to the important Qaeda plotters who ultimately masterminded 9/11. After the Germans passed the information on to the CIA, they didn't hear from the Americans about the matter until after 9/11, a senior German official said. There was no response at the time, the official said. After receiving the tip, the CIA decided that Marwan was probably an associate of Osama Yamama, but never tracked him down, American officials said. The Germans considered the information on Mr. Shihi especially valuable, and the Commission is keenly interested in why it apparently didn't lead to greater scrutiny of him. In other words, they effed up, if I can say that. Can I say it?
No.
They screwed up. They screwed up.
They erred.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, there's the poll. Let's see. I don't know what to vote for on here because there's so many good choices as usual. Are the choices all on there?
I don't know.
Like I said, when Eric gets the last choice on there. Now, here's the Daily News from New York today. Jamie Bernard, an award-winning film critic and columnist for the Daily News, who says she gives this 1 star. I don't know what the scale is, whether they do 4 or 5 stars, but anyway, 1, which you can't get. I guess you could do none, right?
I do 50 stars.
It's mighty low. Okay, Erica, you got this thing up here so I can vote and get this out of... They're up there. I think I'm going to vote for it. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing. So here's what Jamie has to say. Gore is the crime of passion, and she's not talking about Al Gore or Gore Vidal. She says no child should see this movie. Even adults are at risk. Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ is the most virulently anti-Semitic movie made since the German propaganda films of World War II. It is sickening, much more brutal than any Lethal Weapon movie. The violence is grotesque, savage, and often fetishized in slow-mo. At least in Hollywood spectacles, that kind of violence is tempered with cartoonish distancing effects. Not so here, and yet the passion is also undeniably powerful. Because of all the media coverage of this movie and the way it was shown only to hand-picked sympathizers until yesterday's screening for movie critics, many questions hang in the air. Is it historically accurate? Of course not. As with any movie, even a documentary, this one reflects the views of its filmmakers, who are entitled and expected to use their art persuasively. Gibson has been upfront about his own religious agenda. But is it any good? The Passion, once you strip away all the controversy and religious fervor, is a technically proficient account of the last 12 hours in the life of Jesus of Nazareth. The movie is sanctimonious in a way that impedes dramatic flow and limits characterizations to the saintly and the droolingly vulgar. That said, there are many things in its favor: a heroic physical effort by star Jim Caviezel, stunning cinematography by Caleb Deschanel, and the chutzpah to have the actors speak the dead language of Aramaic with some subtitles. Is Gibson devout, or is he mad? Had Gibson claimed Napoleon helped him direct instead of divine spirits, the answer would be clear. Even so, a touch of madness is often a good thing in a director, but The Passion feels like a propaganda tool rather than entertainment for a general audience. Is it anti-Semitic? Yes. Jews are vilified in ways both little and big, pretty much non-stop for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Gibson cuts from the hook nose of one bad Jewish character to the hook nose of another in the ensuing scene. He misappropriates an important line from the Jewish celebration of Pesach, "Why is this night different from all other nights?" Manishtana halayla hazeh, and slaps it into a Christian context. Most unforgivable is that Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Palestine, who decreed that Jesus be crucified, is portrayed as a sensitive, kind-hearted soul who is sickened by the tortures the Jewish mob heaps upon his prisoner. Pilate agrees to the crucifixion only against his better judgment. The most offensive line of the script, which was co-written by Gibson with Benedict Fitzgerald, about Jews accepting blame, was not cut from the movie as initially reported, only its subtitle was removed. Passion assumes the audience already knows Christianity 101 and plunges right into the aftermath of the Last Supper, taunted by an effeminate, seductive Satan and anticipating betrayal. Christ suffers. Oh, does he suffer? Kind of sounds like South Park, the movie, the effeminate Satan, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It says, oh, does he suffer? The movie is a compendium of tortures that would horrify the regulars at an S&M club. Gibson spares not one cringing close-up to showcase what he imagines Jesus must have endured. The lashings are so brutal that chunks of flesh go flying and blood rains like outtakes of Kill Bill. The Romans captured their prey with the help of a terminally regretful Judas, then hauled him around to be whipped, beaten, spat upon, mutilated, and finally crucified, all with the cheering encouragement of a ghoulish mob of Jews. No one in the crowd speaks up for Jesus, not even, strangely, his mother. Religious intolerance has been used as an excuse for some of the history's worst atrocities. The Passion of the Christ is a brutal, nasty film that demonizes Jews at an unfortunate time in history. Whatever happened to the idea that the centerpiece of every major religion is love? Oh, how old-fashioned, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Jamie. Who's kidding who? What a great review, huh?
Yes,
a scathing review, as she has the balls to rip this piece of dreck just exactly the way it deserves. Have I seen it? No. Will I see it? No. Will I see any Mel Gibson movie? No. Will I see any movie about Farbissina Goyim? No. Other than that, Happy Easter.
So we see it?
No.
Oh.
Maybe. Not. No chance. There's a better chance that I'll be there by 12:30 today with 400 Homontaschen for everybody.
In Tampa.
Even the Goyim.
Online.
What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of Christ movie is our poll question today. Some votes coming in already now we got up after you screwed up. 38 votes. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me 11. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 10. I will see it, 4. I might see it if I hear it's good, 4. Non-believers should just ignore it, 4. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing. That's what I voted, 3. And I definitely won't see it, 2. Absolutely, positively.
Absolutely
not. Well, 26 after 10 at 560 WQM. If you're thinking of buying a new car or truck, if you want to save a lot of money, don't just pray for it. Visit Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead. They're going to save you a whole ton of cash. Located on US 1, 20 minutes south of the 836, Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead is worth the drive because, like I said, they'll save you a whole lot of money on great brand new Toyotas. Check out these unbeatable prices. An 04 Corolla loaded including air that you own for just $12,990. An 04 Camry with air, automatic, and lots more, just $16,990. Need a truck? How about an 04 Toyota Tundra, the safest truck in the entire USA, from just $14,990. And when you buy that new vehicle at Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead, you get a free Sun Pass. This was the very first dealer. They beat everybody else to the punch in the entire South Florida area to offer you free tires and batteries for the life of your vehicle. General Manager David Rich and his staff will do whatever it takes to put you in an unbeatable new Toyota today. Experience the Armstrong Toyota of Homestead difference. They're locally owned and operated, and they'll guarantee to make you a happy camper every time. The service department is open late weeknights till 8 to make sure your service work is done and done right. Like I said, it's easy to get there. They're US 1 and 293rd Street in Homestead, just 20 easy minutes south of the old 836. So if you're fed up with the mega dealers who overpromise, give you a big song and a dance, and underdeliver every time, here's what you ought to do. Call David Rich. He's the GM at Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead. Call him at 305-242-3247. 305-242-3247. Drive a little and save a hell of a lot on that great new Toyota at Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
If Jesus walked the earth today and wanted to lose weight,
Like Jared.
to look good for that special lady on a special date,
It's hypothetical.
to lose a tunic size would be quite a feat.
Even for Jesus.
So here's the question, what would Jesus eat? Swiss cheese,
'Cause it's holy.
Miracle Whip,
He'd have no other.
Thomas's English muffins,
Doubted.
Virgin Bloody Mary,
To honor his mother.
Lucky Charms.
Charms.
You guys are supposed to sing because he cured the leprechauns.
No, Tim, he didn't actually cure leprechauns.
What he did was he cured lepers, not leprechauns.
Leper colonies.
Oh, I
Leper colony.
misread that. I don't think there's any
different, right?
leper food. Okay, here. Angel food cake,
That's better.
deviled ham,
No way.
hearts of palm
Tell us more.
on ice cream.
To make a
Palm Sunday.
Yeah.
all right.
That's what Jesus would eat.
I'd keep moving, buddy.
Hi-oh.
Oh, man.
And I'm guessing when he went to buy his groceries, he'd redeem coupons and all the store's employees. And he would cross-train to get all trim and fit. And one thing that he would not eat kids.
Shut your mouth.
Just talk about what Jesus wouldn't eat. Uncle Ben's converted rice.
Used to be a heathen.
Cheeseburger.
In paradise.
Chicken a la king.
Holy Allah.
Hope yes chicken.
What?
What?
Hope yes chicken.
What do you mean?
Oh, I think he means Popeye's chicken.
Oh, Popeye. Yeah.
Oh, did I do that again? I misread that. He was a carpenter, but their diet would not do. Karen Carpenter's dieting proved it isn't good for you.
Oh.
He wouldn't eat quiche just to prove he was a real man. And since he was raised Jewish, he'd have to pass on the heavenly ham. That's what Jesus would eat.
All right.
26 to 11 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you. Moderately happy Tuesday. Things are starting to look really grim. I'll tell you that right now. In fact.
And against the Patriot Act.
See? Even he don't like the Patriots. There was a game that night, by the way. The Patriots won the Super Bowl, which everybody's forgotten now because of the big flap over nothing. Over a little, not even a totally bared breast, partially covered boobie. And America's falling apart, coming apart at the seams. Now, the same people who were falling apart when the movie Priest was released and the movie Last Temptation of Christ were released, those people now are urging everybody to go see this.
Right.
See, I happen to be one of those very strange people who believe that anybody with the money to make a movie can go make it, and you can either go see it or not. What a concept. Yeah. The same people that were having a nervous breakdown about The Godfather because it was, ethnically, it was an ethnic smear against all Italians or Sicilians or whatever the hell. All these people that want to censor everything that we have an option of seeing, go see it or not, as the case may be. So I have no problem with that. But some Jesus scholars have a problem with this movie. Mel Gibson's portrayal of the final 12 hours of Jesus in his film The Passion of Christ has been hailed as the gospel of truth by some believers. But many scholars complain that it's riddled with historical errors. You believe that?
Oh, my God.
Not Mel. Would Mel make any mistakes? I noticed that. Look what's leading on our poll right now. Out of the 102 votes, Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, is leading with 20 votes. Well,
I got a three-way tie, 21 each.
In fact, you're probably ahead of me. Oh, yeah. No, as a matter of fact, I will see it 23. It just moved ahead. The militant Catholics, probably your people, are the ones that are hopping on. Oh, I'm going to go see it. It's about Jesus, the Lord and Savior. Yeah, rub your rosaries while you're doing it. Okay?
Rub them raw.
And be sure and take your crucifix because that'll ward off any evil spirits who might be there in the cinema.
Vampires.
That is correct. And not only that, non-believers that can be pretty evil. Anyway, the complaints of the Jesus scholars range from inaccuracies about hairstyles and clothing, which fits in with that bit we just played, the Bob and Tom bit about what would Jesus eat.
Right.
Hairstyles and clothing to a lack of gospel context in the film, which has raised a furor among Jewish groups who fear its graphic furor. Don't talk about the president that way. Among Jewish groups who fear its graphic depiction of the crucifixion will fan anti-Jewish violence.
Ahoy!
Gibson, who was denied the film as anti-Semitic, is saying he consulted scholars, theologians, priests, and spiritual writers before scripting the film with the aim of making Jesus' agony during the crucifixion appear as realistic as possible. Evangelical preacher Billy Graham, of course, called the film a lifetime of sermons in one movie. Experts say his first mistake was having his characters speak Latin and Aramaic. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Greek was the language spoken in Jerusalem during Jesus' time, along with Aramaic and some Hebrew spoken by the Jews.
Yeah, so
Jesus talking to Pontius Pilate and Pilate to Jesus in Latin, exclaimed John Dominic Crosan, a professor of religious studies at the Chicago-based Roman Catholic DePaul University. I mean, in your dreams, he said, it would have been Greek. Greek.
Rectum.
That's what they were into in those days. They were into Greek. Latin was reserved for official decrees or used by the elite. Most Roman centurions in the Holy Land spoke Greek rather than Latin, historians and archaeologists told Reuters. The mistakes, experts say, didn't stop with the wrong language, which Crosan, who speaks Latin, said was so badly pronounced in the film that it was almost incomprehensible. Oh, boy. Don't you think they're just nitpicking now?
Yeah.
He has a long-haired Jesus. Jesus didn't have long hair, said physical anthropologist Joe Zayas, who has studied hundreds of skeletons found in archaeological digs in Jerusalem. Dig?
I did.
Jewish men back in antiquity did not have long hair. Okay? The Jewish text ridicule long hair as something Roman or Greek, said NYU's Lauren Schiffman. Along with extensive writings from the period, experts also point to a frieze on Rome's Ark of Titus, erected after Jerusalem was captured in 70 A.D. to celebrate the victory, which shows Jewish men with short hair taken into captivity. Erroneous depictions of Jesus in Western art have often misled filmmakers in their portrayal of Jesus, experts said, and it goes on, and on, and on, etc. A lot of mistakes in there. But it's, it's fiction, just like the whole story is fiction, so why the hell not go and have a good time?
It's a lifetime of sermons.
And I will go and see it as leading right now. Hallelujah, man! The Catholics are back. The believers.
Jesus Christ.
21.4% of this heathen crowd, 29 people out of 135 said, I will see it. Of course, I think Miguel voted a few times.
About 30, man.
They haven't all popped up on there yet. Your good friend Miguel, the brainwashed one. And at the same time we're talking about, this is pretty damn irreverent of you to be faxing me more priest stories while we're talking about this Jesus story.
It's a good day for priest stories.
It is not.
Sure it is.
Are you trying to tell me that every day is a good day for priest stories?
If only if the sun comes up.
A $20 million lawsuit's been brought against the Oblate fathers in, is that like Obladi, Oblada?
Oblique.
And Father Alfredo Prado, no kin to Edgar Prado, either the musician or the jockey. The fugitive Oblate. What is an Oblate?
I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
It's kind of like a bassoon, but a little bit lower, I think.
Who fled his order and joined a doomsday cult in Costa Rica. Ricardo Salinas, a former San Antonio resident who said Prado sexually molested him in 1967, filed a suit in state court in California. Salinas, 50, a former parishioner of Prado's at St. Timothy's Catholic Church in San Antonio, said the attack occurred when he was 14, a young man, and had approached Prado for counseling about problems with his father. He got me drunk and raped me, Salinas said. When I tried to tell my mother, she wouldn't believe me. And well, who would?
Right.
Ain't nothing like that Jesus juice. I wonder if they're drinking Jesus juice in the movie.
Live and local. This is 560.
Out of a soda can.
Radio's all yours now. QAM.
Enact a constitutional amendment to protect marriage in America. Decisive and democratic action is needed because attempts to redefine marriage in a single state or city could have serious consequences throughout the country. The Constitution says that full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts and records and judicial proceedings of every other state. Those who want to change the meaning of marriage will claim that this provision requires all states and cities to recognize same-sex marriages performed anywhere in America. Congress attempted to address this problem in the Defense of Marriage Act by declaring that no state must accept another state's definition of marriage. My administration will vigorously defend this act of Congress. Yet there is no assurance that the Defense of Marriage Act will not itself be struck down by activist courts. In that event, every state would be forced to recognize any relationship that judges in Boston, officials in San Francisco choose to call a marriage.
How do you like this? Well, Presidente is making it official now as the fascism continues. Man, it's just get them big boots on right now and start marching around your living room or your bat room. Probably a lot of people in the bat room right now. Constitutional amendment to prevent gay marriages.
Right.
That's right.
You evil faggots.
He has always strongly believed that marriage is a sacred institution between a man and a woman, White House Press Secretary Scott McClellan be saying. He said the president wants to end growing confusion that's arisen from court decision in Massachusetts and San Francisco permitting more than 3,000 same-sex unions. The president believes it's important to have clarity. He wants to make it clear.
The union of a man and woman is the most enduring human institution, honored and encouraged in all cultures and by every religious faith.
Except in Utah.
Ages of experience have taught humanity that the commitment of a husband and wife to love and to serve one another promotes the welfare of children and the stability of society.
You might mention my name to Vice Marshal Goering.
Yeah, when you talk to him, W, be sure to mention my name.
You're gay.
1047 at 560 WQM. It's all like a big avalanche of crap coming down on us, and the public is going, oh my God, what's going on over here? Boy, Ellis Rubin, take that, huh? Boy, talk about taking, that's probably what set him off, decided to do it today when he saw that Ellis Rubin story. That would put anybody over the edge. Upstaged again, Ellis, you lose. What's your take on a much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ movie? Jesus. 190 votes. I will see it, 43. Well, hey, have a good time, okay? Bring your own popcorn. Maybe a few jujubes.
Oh.
Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 33. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 32. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing, 28. He's jealous. I definitely won't see it, 27. I might see it if I hear it's good, 15. Oh, it's not just good, it's great. And non-believers should just ignore it, 12. So we got a whole variety of choices there for you. WQM, hello.
Hello. Is this Neil Rogers show?
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Neil, do you have Randy Maltash's phone number? No one can seem to give it to me.
1-800.
1-800.
741. Team, T-E-A-M. Team.
8326.
8326. 741-8326.
Thanks, George.
He's
Great
the best.
show, Neil.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, George.
Thanks, Neil.
See, there you go. That was constructive. That guy needs Randy Maltash, the ticket defense team, whom we love dearly. At least they're still in business.
Randy Maltash
is
Jesus Christ, by the way.
He is. He's our personal Jesus, our personal Savior. Every year on my anniversary, every year on my birthday. Oh, speaking of my anniversary, what's going on here, man? I must be getting my Charlton Heston disease kicking in. I must be getting old and febrile, something like that.
March the 1st.
That's me.
Yeah.
March 1st, so I'm not going to be on the air March 1st because I'll be on vacation.
We'll do
Is
a
March
party
1st
for
on
you.
Monday?
Yeah.
No, so that means this Friday we have to have my anniversary show. So what we'll do is we'll play all the stuff that we can play after March 1st. Huh? Isn't that what Clarence said? He said, well, make the deadline March 1st so that on your anniversary show.
Let me get those forms back and we'll post-date them.
Now, how many years is this going to be? 28? 28 years in Miami.
About 30, man.
And I think it's coming to an end just at the right time, too,
good
man.
timing on your part.
Wow, I sure had it planned pretty perfect.
We can play Jesus
Especially
songs
the part
for
about doing the show from out of the country. I think I had that planned pretty well.
Now, if we could just move the transmitter to out of the country.
Right. 10,000 watts, 50,000.
Radio
WQN,
Bing.
hello.
Hi, Uncle Neil. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. My vote is Mel and his daddy probably would have liked taking turns turning the gas on.
Oi!
Oh, my God. Get a life, mister. I used to be such a fan. If I tell you, I loved him. I loved everything he did. I can't look at his face now. I see his movies on TV. I go to the next channel immediately, if not sooner.
See, one thing about me, at least I can say I'm consistent because I always despised Mel Gibson. I found him to be on a personal level such an obnoxious bastard that I just couldn't overlook that. So no matter what movie he was in, I wouldn't see it.
I just knew I never knew anything about him personally, just always liked his acting, thought he was a great-looking guy, enjoyed his movies. They were fine. I was a big fan. Now I've turned my allegiance to a new hunk. I am a big, big Johnny Depp fan now.
There you go.
I think unless he does anything repulsive, which I can't imagine him doing, he seems to have his act together, I will be true blue.
I can imagine doing a lot of things repulsive, but we can't talk about him on the air, especially now.
No, not now.
No.
He's good. I saw Donnie Brasco last night, but I couldn't pay much attention to what was going on in the movie because I kept looking at him.
Now, with Donnie Brasco, I saw that not that long ago. I have it in the other room, but is that the one where he's in a swimming pool naked? Well, close to it?
Close to it, yes.
Yeah. Not close enough.
Not close enough, but I was glued to it. I was very happy he won that Screen Actors Guild Award. That was
kind of a surprise.
It was a surprise because I don't think he has much of a chance of winning the Academy Award, but I hope he shows up.
Me too.
I do too. So
have a great day. Thanks.
You have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Down with Mel.
Right. Down with Mel. Is that Mel Karmazin or Mel Gibson?
Mel Blanc.
You can smell the smell if it's from Mel. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's from Mel. I can recognize the flavor. 5670560. I mean, what in the name of heaven is going on here? And this is all political pandering, obviously. That's what this is all about, to try to create an issue when they're desperate. The economy's in a crapper. Jobs, all these millions of jobs they're going to create ain't happening. How many jobs they're going to create this year?
About 30, man.
Right. I told you they're going to create 2 new jobs this year in America. President and Vice President in November.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2. And, of course, everybody is peeing in their pants because we still can't find Osama Yamama, and there are guys dying over there every single day. Americans dying for no good reason at all. Another Halliburton story that I got in my pile today, if I ever get to it. Where's the headline? Halliburton is now there are criminal charges, if I can ever find the damn thing. Where the hell is it, man? Rod Page, by the way, the education secretary, called the nation's largest teachers union a terrorist organization during yesterday's private White House meeting with the governors. Real humor. A terrorist organization, the NEA. Can't find my damn Halliburton. Oh, here it is. The Pentagon's investigation into allegations a Halliburton subsidiary may have overcharged for gasoline delivered to Iraq last year is now a criminal probe, the Pentagon admitted yesterday.
All right.
The Defense Criminal Investigative Service, the criminal investigative arm of the Inspector General's office, is investigating allegations of fraud on the part of Kellogg, Brown & Root, KBR, including the potential overpricing of fuel delivered to Baghdad by a KBR subcontractor, a Pentagon statement said. That's, of course, the same company that Dick Cheney was working for, and the same company that was doing business with Saddam as late as 1997.
Absolutely.
Again, just mentioned in passing. WQAM, hello.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Okay.
I think there's one image that you all are forgetting to portray about this movie, Passion. Can you imagine tomorrow the people inside the theater catching the Holy Ghost and screaming and crying during the movie?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine that?
No.
That's one image that
kind of hard to catch the Holy Ghost because, kind of hard to get a fix on him.
Well, if you're not crazy, stay away from that movie. See you now.
Okay. What do you say?
If you're not crazy, stay away from that movie.
5670. No, if you're not crazy, that means maybe you ought to go to the movie, and then you can be. 567. Why should you be different from everybody else? I will see it. 53, 22.7%. That's the leading vote. That's shocking. That's our good Catholic. Now, do you think that most of the people are going to go see it are Catholic or just other Christians as well, like born-again Christians?
I think especially born-again Christians.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
More so than Catholics?
You don't know about them a lot, do you?
What do you mean by that? Sure I do. Are you
more
crazy?
About Catholics because of this community is thick with Catholics. The fundamentalist yushkis that run around the rest of the country.
Yeah, but Mel Gibson is part of this ultra right-wing Catholic cult, the traditionalist Catholics, as his father is.
But they've joined forces, so to speak. But the fundamentalists and the Jimmy Swaggarts and those people, they're all powerful in America.
So in other words, what you're saying is the Farbissina Goyim of all joined forces?
Oh my God!
Wow. Well, time to head for the hills. And I don't mean Sheridan Hills either, or Emerald Hills.
I mean the
233 votes. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson movie? I will see it, 53. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 38. Even a pope would be proud of this marketing, 36. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 35. I definitely won't see it, 32. I might see it if I hear it's good, 24. It's sensational. Mel needs your money. Come on now. And non-believers should just ignore it, 15. Just ignore it, it'll go away, like a big boil, like on your ass, a big boil. That's how I consider the whole thing, Mel Gibson in the movie, big boil on my fat ass. Sid sends me a long fax here. It says, I've been a fan since the first Gulf War, consider myself a bit of a radiophile, as shows like yours get me through the day with a smile, while informing me of pertinent items from a perspective I agree with. Nice going, Sid. I've also been a Stern fan since he came into the market, enjoyed different talk shows, non-sports except for the Mad Dog, mostly because there's no alternative. I listen to Schmidt simply because he's on the dial. There's nothing else on I enjoy. I'm not sure how much of Stern you listen to, as in none, though I presume very little, none. And I have to tell you that you were completely right last week in saying the content on that show was going to be atrocious. Not that he's still programmed pretty much as before for now, but they dump him so many times that stories become unintelligible and, frankly, intolerable. A good portion of yesterday and today's shows have been arguing with the GM about how schmitty his show sounds with all the cut-ups and makes everybody gun-shy and lame, afraid of saying anything. The miserable turd Michael Powell is going to destroy the only thing that brightens the sometime miserable days and nights we endure our entertainment. W and his cronies are ruining our country with the speed of Huns overtaking a village of women. Schmidt, this country is nothing but a village of women, and the religious right is the Hun throng that will take away all of our liberties as we whimper and snivel in a corner. Fortunate for me, I'm a Canadian-born American, about to get my EU passport thanks to my WAP descent, and speak 3 languages fluently, something that's a valuable asset in every civilized country except this one. Within the decade, I'm out of here. The Bushites can have the entire thing. See you at the border. Keep it up for as long as you can, old man Sid. Nice going, Sid. See you, kid. See you around, eh? 10:56 at 560. Every religious faith prohibits gay marriage, and of course those of us who don't belong to any religious faith, those who are agnostics, those who are atheists, we have no place in George Bush's America. Keep that in mind.
We're Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh my God. You're gay.
Tired of the same boring old communion wafers at holiday mass? Open wide, Billy, and prepare to receive thy Savior.
Oh, geez, Father O'Malley, wafers again?
Now, Billy, this isn't just any wafer.
It's not?
No, through the divine miracle of transubstantiation, I've turned this ordinary wafer into the divine blessed body of Christ.
Well, why does the body of Christ have to taste so yucky?
Spice up your next communion with new Christ-A-Roni. Christ-A-Roni is a special blend of rice, spices, and seasonings, plus a bit of the body of Christ in every fluffy forkful. And Christ-A-Roni cooks up perfect every time, as he should.
Can I have some more Christ, Father?
That's Christ-A-Roni, Billy.
Amen to that.
Christ-A-Roni, the transubstantiation treat.
It's 11 o'clock at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you, man. Happy Ass Wednesday tomorrow. Mary Cheney urged to fight a ban on same-sex marriage, as El Presidente is eraculating right now. This is an issue of great importance to America, and I would ask, of course, the obvious question when he says that. I would say,
why?
Why does anybody care? What difference does it make? How does it change anything?
Hey, did we already have this, if I may interrupt?
Yes?
Dean ripping Nader.
It was, what do you mean, did we have it?
Did we already have it on the website and everything?
We don't need it on the website. Okay. I saw it yesterday, and he got up there and he said basically the same thing they were all saying, that Nader, you're a silly old fossil, and cut the crap, and quit the, spoiling the party and get lost.
I just checked it.
Yeah. You didn't see that?
No.
And then I thought the most, important part of his speech was at the end when he said, for emphasis. But Nader still ain't listening because his ego, man, what a pompous ass. We've got 85 million different stories on the site about everybody ripping Nader, and rightfully so. What a jackass, what a simpleton, what a foolish old man. At least comb your hair, you silly goose. God. He looks real presidential, don't he?
No. Get some conditioner.
Yeah, get some hairspray, you idiot. Man. 70 years old, and he just refuses to take no for an answer, and the excuse being, well, he's going to bring all this activism to the campaign and raise a lot of issues that the other candidates wouldn't because they're all the establishment and yada, yada. And in the meantime, nobody's paying any attention to you no more, Ralph. God. Be like if Channel 6 propped up Ralph Redneck's body in the chair and tried to peddle the 6 o'clock news. Although probably a big improvement over a lot of what's on the air in South Florida. Anyway, thousands of gay rights supporters are posting open letters on the Internet urging Mary Cheney, the vice president's daughter, to speak out against amending the Constitution to ban same-sex marriage. The campaign targets Cheney, 34, because she is openly gay and is running her father's part of the Bush-Cheney re-election campaign, but hasn't taken and speaking of fruitcakes, wow! You wonder why MSNBC has nobody watching?
No.
Let me give you a clue.
Okay.
Who I'm talking about. Ballet dancer.
Reagan?
Ronnie Reagan Jr. I'm going to tell you, seriously, this is the truth. I didn't make this up. They have both of his feet weighted, no, seriously, with lead weights. They have him weighted down to the ground so he won't take off like Peter Pan. I'm telling you, man, he is
use those Jesus spikes.
All these screamers you've been seeing getting married out there in San Francisco, and more power to them, but all the clones with the mustaches, all the stereotypical screamers, they are like Hercules compared to Ron Reagan Jr., that lady. I mean, get a life. Get serious, sweetheart. But at least she talks real, Butch, anyway. Anyway, she's running her father's part of the Bush-Cheney re-election campaign, but hasn't taken a public position on the proposed federal marriage amendment. As an opium lesbian who has worked for years as a public advocate for gay civil rights, you're in a unique position to defend yourself and your community in this dire hour, the website DearMary.com says in a model letter. DearMary.com. John Aravosis, the Washington political consultant who set up the site, acknowledged that it's an unusually personal challenge to a member of Vice President Cheney's family. If I were a fly on a White House wall, I think they might be saying, wow, this is very personal. And we would say, you're right, this is very personal, Aravosis said. The White House has no problem publicly discussing whether my family's relationships are valid and healthy, yet they refuse to discuss their own. Jennifer Miller-Wise, a spokesman for the Bush-Cheney campaign, declined to comment on behalf of the campaign and Mary Cheney, of course. She don't want to touch it with your hand.
A constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage in their own states. California has no such provision in their constitution, and that's where Mayor Gavin Newsom is finding his strength behind his argument, is that the same-sex couples in the state of California deserve the same equal protection under the law that heterosexual couples enjoy when they are allowed to marry. And since his decision to allow marriage licenses for gay couples in the city of San Francisco, there have been over 3,200 couples come forward to receive their marriage licenses, many of them from out of state. And the concern among opponents of gay marriage is that many of these couples will go back to their home states, try to challenge the state laws there, challenge their employers, challenge insurance companies to provide them with equal benefits, equal to what heterosexual couples now enjoy.
Since the website went online February 13, more than 8,000 pleas to Mary Cheney have been posted. Aravosa said the site has also raised more than $10,000 for ads drawing attention to Cheney's public silence and has invited public participation in devising them. One proposed ad would show her face on a milk carton under the headline, "Have you seen me?" How do you like that? And that goes on about the log cabin Republican fags who, of course, this is all going too far. Yeah, right, like Alice Rantel. Go see Alice, okay? He's a real eye popper. Here's a John who faxes and says, I almost threw up at lunch yesterday. In fact, I did. I went home for lunch and was channel surfing, and lo, I found the wonderful Jim Baker with his own show again, coming from Branson, Missouri. The total asshole Jim Baker with his new wife, Lori, a Tammy Faye lookalike, was preaching to the biggest collection of losers I've ever seen while begging for money to join his Partners Club. Are you living in fog, the favor of God? Baker's new lame slogan. Fog, the favor of God. I cannot believe this scumbag is back on television and that bigger scumbags are contributing to him so much for Christianity. I guess God forgives everybody, even scumbags. Check out his begging website. No, I'll pass, John. I don't want to do that. El Paso. Now, what is this thing you sent me from the New Yorker, which goes on forever?
Well, I only sent you the first page.
Oh.
Like
Shall I read it, New York, from the New Yorker? Well, a lot of people are interested in finding out what folks are thinking about it besides the believers, the ones who already are, that's right. Like the preaching to the choir thing, the ones who are the devout believers. Those are the 22% in this audience who say, I will see it. And, they're entitled to do that. Of course, the rest of us aren't entitled to whatever the hell we want to do, but that's beside the point. Fascism lives in America, baby.
Absolutely.
Make no mistake about it.
Absolutely.
Boy. They're not wasting any time. And you notice how all of these things are coming down at pretty much the same time. The Super Bowl and Janet Jackson's boobie, and then Michael Powell, and then everybody having a nervous breakdown, and congressional hearings. The thing about 9/11, here it is, it's almost the middle of 2004 already, and they're just getting congressional hearings going to find out how the hell come 9/11 happened back in 2001. But we have a boobie on network TV, and right away, within a matter of days, we've got congressional hearings convened, and they drag in Mel Karmazin, and they're dragging this one in and that one in, and how dare you do this, and we're going to take away your license, and we're going to put you all in jail. And so Bubba Love Sponge is off the air. Howard Stern Show has been diluted like a big bowl of water, has been like it's bathing in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, tell the story you were telling me this morning about somebody who listens to Howard Show.
Yeah, what about it?
About how the minute and a half delay and all of this?
Oh, yeah. It used to have, I guess it was a double delay or a one delay. It used to have 30 seconds, and now it's a minute 30. So.
And they have 4 They have 4 people sitting with dump buttons waiting to dump stuff out of there.
So if he says it the first time, they can catch it the second time or the third time and just wear him out.
And the rumor is that Stern is so pissed off with management, and he hates the general manager anyway to infinity, that he's ready to go on here and do everything he can to try to get fined so that they'll blow him out, because the Mel Karmazin dictum from Infinity and from Viacom says not only would the air talent be fired, but also the general manager, the program director, everybody involved, all of these people.
And the dog.
Right. The dog done it.
So Howard's going to see if he can get them fired because, he'll be fine.
Now, he'll be fine. He's only got, $200-300 million?
More money than
Jesus Christ
himself.
Right. California poll there, Kerry 56%, Edwards 24%, and everybody else says small potatoes. Kucinich and Sharpton. 56-24 for Kerry, and pretty scary. Today we got 3 primaries going on that nobody cares about because it's Hawaii and Idaho and Utah. Anyway, the New Yorker critic David Denby writes, and I haven't read this yet, only the first page. I don't want to do too much reading. They want to get 80 million calls on here about what's going on in your America. Although we do have 71 people, 21.8% see they will see the Mel Gibson movie. That's leading our poll. Of course, the other ones are all chopped up into different categories, see? Because if you take away 21.8%, the rest leaves like 78.2%, right?
You're asking me a math question?
78.2. I'm a genius at math. I don't know anything else, although I do know the sun is shining in Toronto, eh? In the Passion of the Christ, well, I just said that in case Castor No Balls is listening now, writing down some material. What, in between looking Ricky? Well, he's probably listening right now because Rick Sanchez just went off at 11, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
He's probably looking the TV screen when Rick is on there. In the Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson shows little interest in celebrating the electric charge of hope and redemption that Jesus Christ brought into the world. He largely ignores Jesus' heart-stopping eloquence, his startling ethical radicalism, and personal radiance. Christ as a paragon of vitality and poetic assertion, as John Updike described Jesus' character in his essay, The Gospel According to St. Matthew. Cecil B. DeMille had his version of Jesus' life. Pier Paolo Pasolini and Martin Scorsese had theirs. And Gibson, of course, is free to skip over the incomparable glories of Jesus' temperament and to devote himself, as he does, to Jesus' pain and martyrdom in the last 12 hours of his life. As a viewer, I'm equally free to say that the movie Gibson has made from his personal obsessions is a sickening death trip, a grimly unilluminating procession of treachery, beatings, blood, and agony, and to say so without indulging in anti-Christian sentiment, Gibson's term for what his critics are spreading. For 2 hours, with only an occasional pause or gentle flashback, we watch stupefied as a handsome, strapping, at times half-naked young man is slowly tortured to death. Gibson is so thoroughly fixated on the scourging and crushing of Christ, so meagerly involved in the spiritual meanings of the final hours, that he falls in danger of altering Jesus' message of love into one of hate. And against whom will the audience direct its hate? As Gibson was completing the film, some historians, theologians, and clergymen accused him of emphasizing the discredited charge that it was the ancient Jews who were primarily responsible for killing Jesus. The Jews, a claim that has served as the traditional justification for the persecution of Jews in Europe for nearly 2 millennia. The critics turn out to have been right. Gibson is guilty of some serious mischief in his handling of these issues, but he may have also committed an aggression against Christian believers. The movie has been hailed as a religious experience by various Catholic and Protestant groups, some of whom, with an ungodly eye to the commercial realities of film distribution, have pre-purchased blocks of tickets or rented theaters to ensure the passion a healthy opening weekend business. But how, I wonder, will people become better Christians if they're filled with the guilt, anguish, or loathing that this movie may create in their souls? I want the rest of this story.
Coming right at you.
During the break.
See.
Sounds like a pretty good review.
So far.
And then the headline on the story is Nailed. That's the title of the column. Nailed. That's bad. By the way, have you got your nails yet? $16.99 a pop. Huh?
I can get them cheaper at Home
Get
Depot.
them pewter nails, baby. Let's have a sale for nails. Right outside there in a corner of Ives Dairy and 441. And then maybe we can raise that extra money for Boca Brian for that $50 a week that they want to cut him back. One more spot, sales department, okay? Just one more spot. For a couple of $100, man, that'll do it. Easy. Take care of a month. Just one spot a month more. And that'll take care of that little piddly pocket change that they're squabbling about. Bunch of cheap bastards, them. I think that if there is a hell, I really do believe some of them people are going to be in it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to say the Beasleys.
They receive none of the protections that other families receive. For example, I pay each and every week into the Social Security system. But if I die, my family will not get Social Security.
Well, it's George Bush's America now, honey, so just cut the dyke crap. 12 minutes after 11 at 5:60. I think we're going to have to call on Janet Reno now to stick her finger in the dike, don't you? Kind of like plug all of the holes that are... No, I'm serious. I'm serious. There's some terrible things happening in the American system right now, and I think we have to get old Janet back. She's the only one who can handle the chore.
Elect her president.
Hey, listen, it's the last mortgage you'll ever need. It's the only one mortgage from Financial Group. The benefits are incredible. You'll pay 0 closing costs, 0 application fee, 0 credit bureau fee, and 0 discounted points. Get yourself the new low interest rate of just 1.25%. If you have a $100,000 loan, your payments are a mere $334 a month. If you have a $200,000 loan, you pay only $668 a month. And don't forget, once you refinance or get you a new home mortgage from Financial Group, you will never, ever pay closing costs again. So call them today at that new number. It's toll-free, 1-866-395-LEND. Write it on your chest. Get the low-rate mortgage you deserve and then move on to your next property without further cost or expense. You pay 0 underwriting fees, 0 doc fees, 0 closing costs, even when you move to another property. How can you beat that? Get the new low-rate financing of just 1.25% with the only one mortgage and only from the Financial Group. Never pay closing costs again. Call Financial Group today, toll-free, 1-866-395-LEND. That's 1-866-395-LEND. They're an equal housing lender. Restrictions apply. Rates subject to change monthly. 4.21 APR.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Strange world must defend his honor, his woman, and also that weird cult thing he's into.
L. Ron Hubbard was not a nut. He was the sanest man who ever lived.
Tom Cruise is the last Scientologist.
It's as legitimate as any other major religion, only more so.
The last Scientologist. If you call him gay, he'll sue you for $100 million. But if you call his religion crazy, he'll cut you in half, lengthwise, with a 4-foot samurai sword.
Nicole wasn't so into it, but I'm pretty sure Penelope will be, and if not...
He's even willing to die for Dianetics. He is the last Scientologist.
What do you want from me? I mean, besides my fame, my fortune, complete control of my life, and, oh yes, my soul.
Tom Cruise is the last Scientologist. Unless you count John Travolta, Jenna Elfman, and a few other gullible Hollywood airheads.
The Last Scientologist is now playing with your mind in a theater near you.
11:17. Here's a fax from Al, who says, the more I learn about how this country is getting flushed down the toilet, the more I want to move to Canada. But someone I know informed me they saw a story on TV about the Yakuza running rampant to the point of public shootouts in Canada.
Yakuza.
Have you heard anything about that? The what?
Yakuza.
What did I call it?
Yakuza.
Yakuza? What's the Yakuza?
The Japanese mafia.
Oh, right. Whatever you say, Al, don't get carried away. Certainly not here in Toronto yet. The Yakuza. Yeah, they're shooting it up. Never heard of the Yakuza.
Really? You haven't been to Japan?
I've heard of the jacuzzi. Anyway, let's get back to serious stuff, okay, please? Pretty please. Sun is shining, it's beautiful. It's a little on the chilly side, but nevertheless. Get back to Howard Stern.
Okay.
Now, first of all, I don't want to say I told you so, but you remember those days when, after 9/11, and the days when, after March of this year, last year when they invaded Iraq? And certain people on the air, I don't want to mention no names.
Okay.
But certain people who in the past had always been very ultra-liberal and cutting edge and very anti-establishment, all of a sudden started goose-stepping in line and supporting the Bushmeister. And Howard Stern was one of those. Do you recall that?
No.
Well, we had calls about it.
reports.
I didn't hear it, but we had reports.
Yes.
And, of course, I'm thinking to myself, well, the day is going to come when he's going to rule that decision. And I wonder what he's thinking to himself now about how he's been stabbed in the back by the very people he was supporting.
And Mancow.
Right. That's right. Mancow, who, of course, has always been a right-winger, which I still find that hard to... Well, even right-wingers want to get laid. At least he's honest about that. But I wonder how he feels about it now that they're getting fined in Chicago big time. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so here's the report on this fax. It says Stern wants to leave the air now because today they dumped the word thrust when it followed anal. Anal thrust, and they dumped the word thrust. Oh, boy. Now... I will say this, because Infinity, Viacom has got a hell of a lot more at stake than some others, although the Beasleys, they've spent their whole life pretending to be in this business, so they certainly don't want to lose anything. But with Viacom, that was directly related, of course, with CBS, MTV, that whole Janet Jackson flap. So that's where it's all centered now. So they came out with that directive that we read on the air last week, and just having a nervous breakdown, and if you do this, and if you say that, and if you see K. But at any rate, be sure and say hi for us.
I'll tell you said, hey.
Okay. Say hey, Kay. So, I'm looking at now, I do have to say this for Beasley Broadcasting. I can't say too much, but generally speaking, they pretty much let us all always do our thing. And number two, this, programming content policy form that we're all having to sign, which I signed this morning, and again, they're not the ones who are making these regulations. You do understand that the individual companies are the ones saying, oh, well, you can't do this. And no, they're not the ones having a fit. It's the FCC with all the threats now. Just like the threat to start in on cable. That's why you ought to look at Sofia Vergara's ass and all the other pictures we post on our website every day, because you may never see them again.
Right.
Where does it stop? Where does it stop with these Nazi bastards? Because that's exactly what they are. This is fascism at its worst. Forget about free speech, because they just make it up as they go along. Here's an example. National standard of patent offensiveness. In order to be found indecent, the language involved, whether explicit, double entendre, innuendo, or sound effect, must constitute a patently offensive description or depiction of a sex act, organ, or excretory function. In determining whether language is patently offensive, however, it's important to recognize that local community standards are not used. See, always they used to be, up until this group of fascists came in. They just changed it arbitrarily. Forget about local standards. Rather, now, wait till you hear this. I guarantee you, get out to the pens right now, because you'll pee your pants.
Can we still
the
say
FCC considers whether an average adult listener in the United States would find the broadcast matter patently offensive, and the FCC will rely on its own expertise in determining the standards of the average adult listener. For this reason, the FCC has held that the actual popularity among adults residing in the market where a program airs will not insulate material from a finding of indecency. So even if you have the #1 rated show, even if Howard Stern has a 45 share in your market, it doesn't make any difference how popular it is, because if there's one asshole in that market who doesn't like the show, then we're going to take their word for it, and we're going to say, hey, guess what, we're going to fine your ass or kick you off the air or both.
That sounds like a good system.
An average adult listener, the FCC will rely on its own expertise in determining what that is.
Right.
Now, you see, if you ask me if an average adult listener in the U.S. would be offended by that, I would say no way. And there's no way that even the FCC would push that. You know what I'm saying? No chance. No way. Even these fascists. So that's about as much as we can do. Maybe one of those, maybe a couple of those, and that's it.
Don't hit the wet one.
Oh, no.
That's the one.
I know which one it is. I was saving the last for best. The best for last, whatever it is. Don't forget, look for the QM van today, noon to 2 at the Shell gas station. That's on the corner of 136th Avenue, which is Panther Parkway, of course, and Sunrise Boulevard. Stop by. Now, who's going to be there? Scott?
Yes.
Oh, man, you ain't seen nothing until you've met Scott. Stop by to register to win a pair of front row tickets to an upcoming Panthers home game. Plus, the first 5 people to show up to the van receive a pair of tickets to see the Caps game this Friday. And, of course, they're giving tickets away at the Panther game. It's very sad. But we're giving them away, too. Noon to 2 at the Shell gas station right there by McDonald's, corner of 136th and Sunrise Boulevard in prestigious Sunrise. I'm glad you faxed me the other pages of this. It's a very long review, which I will get to. But before that, since we're talking about all this attack on everything that you want to see and hear and read, and don't let me forget, I will read that thing about cable again. I think I'm going to read that every day.
You should.
WQAM, hello.
Good morning, Neil. How are we doing?
Okay, sir.
Can we agree that religion is for, like, the people in need and they're searching for hope?
No.
And that's what it's all about?
In need of what? You mean
in need of something, like...
In need of a crutch? In need of a lie?
Something, right. So I'm switching through the channels yesterday, and I see this Christian channel, whatever. So the lady says that a couple people got healed on the set of the movie, Passion for Christ.
Yeah, that's because they probably fell and broke their arm or something. They got healed. They were in a cast.
She says that a blind man got healed and a deaf man started hearing, whatever. So then this man that was interviewing goes, well, I have a prediction that a lot of people who are going to go see this movie in the theaters are going to be healed when they walk out.
Oh,
absolutely.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Now, do you see that their marketing
There's only one thing that's going to be healed with this movie, sir, and it's Mel Gibson's bank account. Okay, that's going to be healed. Big time. Now, MTV under attack by the FCC. Where does it stop? And let me say it again. MTV is a cable network.
Right.
MTV does not come into your living room, into your bedroom, into your attic, into your anywhere over the air. It's a cable subscription-only network. You have to willingly pay money to somebody to bring you MTV on your cable package. Okay? But Janet Jackson's Super Bowl flash lasted less than 3 seconds, but the impact continues to ripple through Viacom, the media giant that broadcast the Super Bowl game. Congress, see, here we go again with Congress. If you're going to wait for Congress or John Kerry or anybody else to bail you out on this, forget about it. Ain't going to happen. Or Ralph Nader. Congress, the FCC, right-wing radio commentators now, although Nader did call the other day for Bush to be impeached. I give him marks for that, but nobody's listening, Ralph. I told you that months ago. Congress, the FCC, right-wing radio commentators, and outraged citizens are calling for stricter decency standards, and the artists and executives who make a living from edgy music performances and videos are in retreat. See, it's a good way to deflect, the whole wagging the dog thing, that whole day, to deflect attention from your own problem. To use him as an example. To be pointing your finger at these perverted, ultra-liberal, whatever the hell they are, and take the spotlight over your own personal failings. The word hypocrite comes immediately to mind. MTV in particular, which produced the Super Bowl halftime show, is in the midst of a wide-scale reevaluation of its musical news and dramatic content as the rest of the world is peeing in their pants laughing at the USA again. Not only do they hate us, but now they're laughing at us again. Within a week of the game, MTV, no stranger to criticism, most recently in response to the Britney Spears-Madonna kiss at the Video Music Awards. Oh, gee, the world came to an end on that almost, didn't it?
Almost.
Bumped 7 music videos out of prime time. And if I could tell you how this just frosts my fat old ass, one of the videos was singled out for political content, incubus megalomaniac. Included clips of Hitler and people drinking oil. That's got to be one of the great videos in the history of the human race. That may be the best ever. See it here like every 5 minutes. The other 6 contain sexual content. See, first of all, the idea of political content. Do you understand what we're talking about, boys and girls? It's being censored because of political content. Do you get it? Are you following the bouncing balls? Are you understanding what the hell we're talking about here? A video on a subscription channel being censored because of its political content.
Right.
The 6 others contain sexual content, Britney's see-through bodysuit in Toxic, 2 women kissing in Blink-182's I Miss You, a PG-13 roll in the sheets in Maroon 5's This Love, and general rump shaking in Ludacris' Splash Waterfalls, Cassidy's Hotel, and the Yin Yang Twins' Salt Shaker. As of February 15th, MTV reintroduced 6 of these videos, including an alternate version of Blink-182's clip that doesn't show the same-sex kiss. Oh, thank God! I feel so much safer now. Oh, my God, just at the time we were ready to fall apart. 27 past 11 at 5:60. I'm going to tell you, seriously, if I had a football right now, I would shove it up Troy Stratford.
Rectum.
He is just not doing his thing for us,
Yeah.
Did he come back to you with any answers to your questions? No. Troy the boy. You're out, Troy. I just talked to the folks. They said you're out. Back to the fish. Anyway, Katrina's on Balance for Life. She's lost, 22 pounds thereabouts on Balance for Life? We haven't seen too much of Katrina lately, but just about thereabouts, give or take. Balance for Life might be the answer a lot of you fat people are searching for. Let's not beat around the bush. Fat is not where it's at. Fat makes you sick. It makes you look like a tub. Believe me, I know. But the zone-based program, which is what Balance for Life is based on, really works for you. The weight just pours off your body, and it's easy with Balance for Life because they make it delicious. They make it painless. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to go shopping and count calories or carbs or buy anything else because they deliver right to your door a little black sack every day, which has got all the food to keep you full and satisfied all day long. 3 hormonally balanced gourmet meals, 2 delicious snacks, even a 16-ounce bottle of water, they're right in there. So get yourself with a real controlled and proven weight loss, eat healthy lifestyle, Balance for Life. The only choice you'll ever make on this is filling out the menu once a week. You get to choose each meal and snack every day that you're on the program. So if you're sick and tired of trying the Atkins and the grapefruit diet and all of the other dozens and you're still fat as a cow and really frustrated, this could be the thing you're looking for because, like I said, they take the guesswork out of it for you. Call Balance for Life today and get started right away. Call 954-568-3229. That's 954-568-3229, or check them out on the web at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
If anybody has opinion dissenting from our way, we'll place your name into the system.
Absolutely.
As enemy of the state. Don't even bother to question. Just follow and obey. Everybody's turning fascist. Fascist USA. In the act of patriotism, we're watching all of you. Everyone's under suspicion, so that's what you do. This bad information, and all you mindless fools in Bush fatherland nation, fascist USA. You gotta hate those Jews and Clinton's liberals too. Believe everything we tell you on the state-run news. Blood war and for cornbread, fill up your Escalade. A Reuben Cheney Bush menu, fascist USA. Oy. We don't mind to see our jobs go, that economy's good. We're fascinated by J-Lo, don't read no stupid book. All now are embracing the Pax American way. Everybody's turning fascist, fascist USA.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I just got it right now.
Oh, good timing.
Oh, wow. Man, oh man, that Michael Powell, what a
Rectum.
ass.
I think it's an all-new thing.
Oh, man. How soon are we going to get that one up there?
I'll let you know as soon as it's there.
Oh, that is just a phenomenal thing, man.
Yeah.
Wow, talk about obscene and pornographic, Mr. Powell. You phony hypocrite. Take a look at the size of those babies, and what a
Rectum.
ass. If you ask me. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I think I may read this at some point during the show every day. There's a lot more about the MTV thing. I'll get to it.
Okay.
I do want to take a lot of calls, though, especially line 9. QAM.
Hello, Neil Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good?
Good. I've been listening to you since 1986, and this is the first time I'm giving you a call.
Excellent.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I did listen to Howard Stern months ago, and when he was talking about and kind of condoning Bush's administration, it infuriated me, and I would email him a couple of times. And you're absolutely right. I think he is really going back on those comments that he made.
He's getting bit right on the ass now by the same people that he was sucking up to.
Exactly. I think up in here in Cleveland, I'm listening from Cleveland now on the internet. I used to live down in Miami.
Right.
And I think up here they're going to be taking out some of the seats before the Christ movie and put in some pews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, I really enjoy your show. I've been listening, like I said, since 1986, and I hope I'm going to be listening for a lot longer.
Well, listen, stay out of the pew, man, and have a great day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Hey,
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. What did you just say? You be what? You be ill? Now, he's a good guy, and thank goodness we're back on streaming on the internet again. Wonder how long they're going to let that go on, huh? Seriously, I want you people to understand, you think that this is just melodrama or Neil getting all bent out of shape or being real, ultra-liberal or whatever. I'm telling you right now that if it were up to Michael Powell and the Bushmeister and Cheney and all these other Nazis that are running your country, the only choices you'd have would be the ones who agreed with them. That would be it. You'd have Rush Limbaugh and Gordon Liddy and Ollie North and Michael Medved and Todd Schmidt, whatever the hell that guy's name is. And that would be it. And, of course, occasionally Phil.
But wait a second.
Henry. Frustrated by the profanity and nudity on television that culminated with Janet Jackson and Justin Tinkerbell's sexy Super Bowl dance, angry lawmakers earlier this month raised the prospect of expanding the fight against indecency on television to cable networks for the first time.
Oh, my God.
In separate simultaneous hearings. Oh, and by the way, the constitutional amendment on gay marriages, they might actually take it up before the end of the year. Not that it's going to be a political issue. Of course, they have to get 2/3 of both houses of Congress to approve it, or 2/3 of the states' legislatures.
Good luck.
At any rate. In separate simultaneous hearings, members of the House of Representatives and Senate told members of the FCC and the president of CBS Viacom, Mel Karmazin, that fines could just be the beginning of a new crackdown on profanity and decency on U.S. airwaves. And, of course, they're the ones who are defining what's indecent and what's profane. They're just making it up as they go along. Most immediately, they appear headed toward passing legislation that would increase tenfold the fine on TV and radio broadcasters that violate FCC decency rules to a maximum of $275,000 per violation. Lawmakers, including Republicans usually wary of government regulation, raised the possibility of getting even tougher, such as passing a 3 strikes and you're off the air law that would revoke the FCC licenses of repeat offenders. We could have Christian music on every station all day. Reformers who focus on network television are missing 85% of the story because 85% of Americans now get their television programming from cable and TV, satellite TV. FCC Chairman Michael Powell said. You can see the lovely Chairman Powell on our website any minute now. Even more lovely than the other picture we had before, from a different angle, as he shows his big fat rectum to the world. Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, favored a suggestion by the Consumers Union that Congress require cable and satellite operators to offer a la carte programming in which people pick and pay only for the channels they want. God forbid that we should see Britney and Madonna kissing again or some grotesque, vulgar thing like that. Congress would have to change rules governing the FCC before the Commission could expand its oversight of cable TV because cable is a subscription service that doesn't use the public airwaves. It has historically been out of the FCC's jurisdiction. But in the aftermath of the Super Bowl flap, that grotesque halftime show, those 2 seconds of perversion, Congress may be willing to give the FCC greater authority over cable. This is all a dog and pony show, man. They're just waiting for an excuse. It's just like invading Iraq. 9/11 came along, unfortunately, of course, tragically, but they used it as an excuse to do what they already planned to do before. And the same thing now. They used the Janet Jackson, Justin Tinkerbell flap as an excuse to do whatever they want to be doing all along. Let's get all the people off the air, all the outrageous people who generally, other than Man-Cow and certain other ones we know, tend to be far to the left of where they're coming from.
The new picture is up.
The new picture is on NeilRogers.com. Believe you me, you'll fall on your rectum taking a look at that. I strongly recommend sitting down while looking at it. firmly seated in your chair, okay?
Or laying down.
Or maybe laying on the floor would be good.
Prone.
In the crone position. How's Julie Crone doing, by the way?
Oh.
20 till noon at 5:60. We got the Mad Dog at 2, the Humper at 4, the Hebrew Hammer, Hank Goldberg at 4, Hurricane Warm-Up at 7. You got the Seton Hall and Miami Hurricanes 7:30 night basketball. 9:30 to 2, it's Eddie K, and then Joe and Mark overnight 2 to 5 in the morning. Boy, it's just all like coming down just the way you feared it would. You know what I mean?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Exactly. Well said, sweetheart. Hey, if you're hungry and you want to break from the kitchen, here's a place you can go and really pig out. Take the whole family, the whole gang, all your friends, and even some strangers off the street, because they'll love the Emerald Coast. They want to take care of the cooking for you. Start out with one or a whole bunch of their 6 different delicious soups and sample dozens of mouth-watering entrees like New York strip made to order in their sizzling Asian grill, the brand new seafood St. Jacques. Enjoy oysters on a half shell, Alaskan stone crab, middle neck clams, jumbo shrimp scampi every night. And if you still have some room, try the hand-carved prime rib and the new Thai specialties, too. Their buffet features a full salad bar, a new sushi bar, and fresh shrimp cocktail, too. No MSG, no cornstarch. You'll never walk out of this place with a headache. Just a big smile on your puss, and you'll be, as they say in China, gesund and puppig. And because a lot of you are real cows, because you really enjoy the sweets, Emerald Coast features a full dessert station, so bring along a crowbar and shove it in your pants. Or just shove the dessert in your pants and eat it when you get home. They got Belgian waffles, pies, cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, fresh fruit as well. You can't beat it with a stick. A lot of imitators all around town, everybody and their brothers doing a Chinese buffet, none of them even close to the Emerald Coast. 3 locations for you. They're in Sunrise, Pine Island of 44th Street. They're on Collins Avenue, just north of 163rd Street, North Miami Beach, and also at the intersection of Flamingo and Pembroke Roads in prestigious Pembroke Pines. So take the whole family or book your next business luncheon right now and let our good friends at the Emerald Coast do the cooking for you. Take out and delivery always available, too. And by the way, Richard, those Leafs, man, what are we going to do? Call 954-572-3822. That's 954-572-3822 for the unbeatable Emerald Coast Chinese buffet.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Big Sports! With Neil Rogers on Sports Hole Radio, WQAM.
On the next Queer Eye, the Foo-Foo Five descend on Miami Beach, where they blend right in, and pay a special surprise visit to Matt Drudge.
Here we are. Oh, hi. Come in, won't you? What do you think? Nothing for us to do here.
Looks fine, fellas. Let's go.
Wait a second. What's this?
A blow-up doll.
I never saw a blow-up doll of an old fat Jew before.
Oh, I forgot to put that away. Ew, who's it supposed to be? Oh, nothing really. It's just a blow-up doll of Neil Rogers.
It's all too much.
Sayonara, lady boy.
It's 11:44, 16 till noon at 560 WQAM. Man, the faxes, the stuff are just pouring in here. Oh, that's right. This is the review by Roger Ebert that I just printed out. Thought it was from you. He said, of course, he sucks up because he was an altar boy, so he sucks up pretty hard. But he does say it's the most violent film he's ever seen.
He was an altar boy?
He was altered as a boy.
See. Now
it will probably be the most violent film you've ever seen, he says. It's not a criticism, but an observation. It's unsuitable for younger viewers, but works powerfully for those who can endure it. Oh. He says of the 126 minutes that the movie lasts, at least 100 minutes of that, maybe more, concerned specifically and graphically with the details of the torture and death of Jesus. And again, he says, this is the most violent film I've ever seen. Now, aren't these the same people, the religionists, who are always screaming about violence in the movies and about how grotesque violence makes our kids go crazy and do grotesque, horrendous things? Isn't that what they're always saying?
Yeah, but at least it's not sexual.
But if it's about religion, then it's okay. See? If it's the Terminator, that's bad.
Right.
But if it has a religious context, and if we can help brainwash the masses and make a lot of money for Mel and the boys, then it's okay.
Well, it's important for you to know just how much Jesus suffered for your sins, Jew boy.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jesus. WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
A couple of things. One choice on the poll, if I may, would
Yes.
be I'll wait till it comes out so I can rent it.
Uh-huh.
And also, I don't know who makes the choices, but let George know that on the pictures of the girls every day, we'd like to see areola and genitalia.
Okay, great. We'll call up Michael Powell and see what he says.
I'll get their gynecological
Not that they have any regulation over the Internet yet, okay? Not yet. Now, who are you thinking about for tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll go through the catalog.
I think it's a very tasteful picture of Sofia Vergara that we have on today.
And that's
she's lying on the beach. She's on the sand. You don't see no nipples, and
she doesn't show nipples. She only shows her cheeks.
Well, whatever she's willing to show you, there it is for you.
And there it is.
Of course, as an extra bonus,
yeah,
we've got the. Oh man, I gotta go back to that homepage. Here it is. Oh, is that a lovely thing? Right above the old Preparation Rush thing there too.
Rectum.
Wow. Careful about inserting that, baby. Now, let's see. Anal thrust was what they were concerned about on the Howard Stern show this morning. Of course, that show, they've been, it's amazing. They must do some really grotesque stuff on here because they're concerned about such minutia, like asshole. They won't even let Howard say douchebag, the Infinity people. For years, He's been bent out of shape about that. Of course, if I was making the money he was making, what would I care what I could say, see?
Right. I wouldn't say anything.
Right. There you go. Play some music, Howie. Oh, and I didn't even see. Now, I think that's a blending of Michael Powell and Celia Cruz. I could be wrong. Huh? Don't you think?
Oh, that's a very good point.
I want everybody to take a look, because look at the heels that bitch is wearing. I mean, whoever that is. Oh,
did you call
God,
Michael
it's
a bitch?
Beautiful thing. Yes, I did. Michael Powell, you're a bitch. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Seeing that Alyssa Milano picture yesterday on the web, I don't know where the tattoo starts or ends, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Now, let me ask you or George, have you heard any of that rumor that they have Osama bin Laden surrounded somewhere in Afghanistan?
Well, it's not a rumor. It's a news story that they're creating. They say, well, surrounded. That's like saying we have you surrounded somewhere on the planet.
So it's kind of not legit then.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Who the hell knows whether they're telling the truth? For all we know, they might have him now. They might be waiting to spring the big fall surprise a month before the election and say, hey, look who we got.
And you know what? That's going to turn everybody to Bush.
I don't think so.
And in closing, Neil?
Yes?
Hank killed Jesus Christ.
Okay, great. Beauty. The Hebrew hammer. Knock on the Hebrew hammer.
Well, they'd probably use the Hebrew hammer to pound those spikes in.
I would think so. And don't forget to get your nails.
Right.
Those pewter nails.
I got a 9-inch nail.
An MTV news segment on sexual politics has also been delayed until outrage over the Super Bowl dies down, according to MTV staffers. This is on a cable channel. California's Laguna Beach High School pulled out of an agreement to let the network film a reality show based on students' lives, and several record labels are toning down videos currently in production out of fear that they won't be shown, according to industry sources. The current state of the culture is different, says one label executive who represents prominent hip-hop artists. It's an election year and nobody wants to be made an example of. How do you like that? Please go see, instead of seeing The Passion of the Christ or whatever this crap is called, please go see, rent it, buy it, steal it at your DVD store, Bowling for Columbine if you haven't seen it already, and even if you have, watch it again.
It's on cable right now. Go to a friend's house.
Right. It's on making the rounds on cable, on the HBOs and movie channels and whatever else. Go to a friend's house if you're too cheap to pay for it, and the movie too, and watch it, Bowling for Columbine. And as he points out so well, all of this baloney, oh, it's the violent movies and it's this and that. The same movies, the same videos, the same everything. They're shown here in Canada and all over the world. All over Europe anyway. Tons of nudity. I'm talking about full nudity, nipples, and you name it. And the people aren't killing each other and their societies aren't crumbling and the world isn't laughing at them because they're not all uptight.
Yeah, but they're probably all going to hell when
all
they die.
The important things that we have to deal with, and the best that these born-again fundamentalist lunatics can do is start with this kind of crap. It's just tragic. It's pathetic. MTV executives refused to comment for this article. This is in Rolling Stone, by the way. Even to describe programming changes. A spokeswoman would only say, we have to pay attention to what's happening in our culture. Oh. That's what she said. Other Viacom companies are taking a similar stance. CBS instituted a 5-minute tape delay for the Grammys, and now all of Viacom's broadcast properties, 39 TV stations, and more than 185 Infinity radio stations are outfitted with the same capability. Pop culture has been on a slippery slope for some time, said Representative Fred Upton, chairman of the House's Internet and Telecom Subcommittee. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Upton, a Michigan Republican, of course, what a shock, has been a key player in the fight to halt potentially offensive programming. He sponsored a bill on January 13 that aims to raise the fines for broadcasters to tenfold. The day after the Super Bowl, he also called Viacom President Mel Karmazin to complain about the halftime show. And a February 4th Wall Street Journal editorial headlined, Viacom's porn channel demanded that Viacom fire MTV President Judy McGrath. Viacom was already seen as a repeat offender with MTV, Comedy Central, Howard Stern, and the Opie and Anthony show on its payroll. So when Karmazin declared that indecency, and by the way, Comedy Central isn't over there either. It's another cable channel. So when Karmazin declared that indecency standards need to be clarified, Representative Heather Wilson, Republican of New Mexico, could hardly control her anger. I remember it well, her performance. You knew what you were doing, she said, of the Super Bowl with tears in her eyes. You wanted us to be all abuzz. It lined your pockets. She was nearly having a stroke. Having a fit, pitching a fit. I almost said pitching a tent.
Can't do
you
that
can't
no
say
more.
that. Well, the Indians can pitch a tent. Why the hell can't the white man?
Well, their grandfather did. They
Can't
can
do
only
it
do
no
it on
more.
the reservation.
Don't be saying pitch a tent no more. I tell you another one, and it just dawned on me after going through this thing. I'll tell you what. Can't play that no more.
Nope.
So I'm going to have to add some more to the list. So you only have a partial list.
No, remember, we're not doing it. It's going to be Duff and Clarence in here.
Trousers. Can't play that. Unless, of course, we start putting our own bleeps. Yeah, how about a trouser? Yeah.
Cuffs.
You see what we're talking about, folks? This is what it's been reduced to, is that you can't, it all has to be reduced to the level of a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old child. And even they would probably laughing their asses off at it. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ movie? That's our poll question on NeilRogers.com, where you can also take a look at the chairman of the FCC and his big fat one. 537 votes. I will see it, 113, 21%. I'll tell you what, don't go see it. Send us the money instead. We'll split it up. George and Josh will split up the money and go do good deeds.
Damn straight.
Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis. 90 of you said that. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing, 87. That was my vote, and proudly. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 84.
I voted that.
I might see it if I hear it's good, 69. We should have put the other one on there that clown just called before and said, about, I'll wait till I get a bootleg copy. But at any rate, we won't do that. I might see if it's good, 69. Oh, 69. And also with 69, I definitely won't see it. See how that number keeps popping up?
I do.
Better take a picture of it and make sure that they understand we're not making those numbers up. Oh, thank goodness they just changed to 70, both of them. Whew. And non-believers should just ignore it, 25 out of 545 votes on the Passion of the Christ. You Christ killers. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil Rogers show.
Speaking, yes.
Oh, hey, Neil. You're too fast, man. Hey, what do you think about putting a patent on a new soft drink just in time for the movies, maybe with the popcorn, Diet Jesus juice with lime?
Not bad.
That would be pretty tasty.
Uh-huh.
Oh, let's try it.
Okay.
And how many Floridians are going to be able to read the subtitles anyway?
About 30, man.
5670560. That's a great point about the fact that they spoke Greek, and that only the muckety-mucks, the higher-ups, spoke Latin, and everybody else spoke Greek. So don't confuse Mel with the facts, because this is the Passion of Christ and the Crucifixion of Christ according to Mel. See, they should have put that in the title, too, according to Mel. Now, I would appreciate it more if it was like according to Mel Brooks, you know, like the history of the world, something like that.
Oh, that would have been a hoot.
That would have been a real hoot and a holler.
Right with things to say, the words run and fall away.
That's your favorites there, Blink 182.
Take this home and read it every day.
But we better not play that because it's not even noon yet.
Is it the new cleaned up video?
I don't know. It might not be because it's on Much Music, and they have a tendency to play them unexpurgated. They don't bleep out the words because it's Canada, and we're like a little more mature here than the Americans. You know, how does it feel to have the whole world laughing at you? Number one, they're terrified, number one. And so number two, they don't like Americans as much as they used to because they're afraid of this attitude. And number two, they're laughing at you. So on the one hand, yeah, that's what she's saying, but the other one is saying...
Be afraid.
Yeah.
Be very afraid.
So it's not a very pretty picture, you know?
Of course, if they laugh at us, you know what we can do.
That's right. Drop una bomba grande. That's right. Just like that bit we got the bomb. Just like Dennis Leary says. We got the big, big effing bomb. Uh-oh. Now, what about that? Can we still play that? Wait. I think we can. I love that bit. Right. And how timely, too, it turned out to be. Even though you're not a big Tom Jones fan. I'm so sorry.
Who, me? Yeah. Love Tom Jones. I know all his songs. I have his greatest hits.
He just turned 96, old Tom.
Can't believe the language I hear on TV. Boy. Every other word is an obscenity.
All right.
It used to be the cable was a whole lot worse, but now the networks let their actors curse. There's no end in sight to this insanity. All the dialogue contains profanity. Swearing like a sailor on a 3-day pass. Words a whole lot worse than ass.
Rectum.
F-bomb, F-bomb. How long will it be before they drop the F-bomb on network TV? F-bomb, F-bomb. There's no telling when they'll drop one on the UPN.
Oh, my God.
11:56. I love that. And we can still play it. I didn't find anything in there. Now, we will have to pass it through our committee, Duff and Clarence.
Right.
Keep him off the streets. Keep him out of trouble. Keep Clarence safely away from the beast till he heals up a little bit. And they can sit around. I think that's a great idea. We have over 5,000 comedy bits and sounds and drop-ins in our DCS computer. For example, I don't think we can play now. We'll have to ask them, but I don't think we can do that. I mean, if anal thrust was bleeped, of course, that's not the commission. That's the paranoia at Infinity now. Because everybody's eye, the big spyglass is over their ass.
Let me ask you, which member of the committee
Did you say let me ask you?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Which member of that committee is going to understand the significance of...
See, now you notice he said member. First he said ass, and then he said member. See, you're not fooling me. You may be fooling some of the slow people out there like Duff and Clarence. You're not fooling me. You're not pulling the woolly over my eye. 3 minutes till noon at QM. Hey, if you got a crappy job, or maybe if you've been working in radio and you know that your days are numbered, here could be the answer for you. Get a real career. And we're talking about a high-paying computer career and the big fat paycheck that goes along with it. Call Fast Train. They're the folks that will help you get the training you need to get yourself a real life. Call them today at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN because in just 4 short months, they can really get you trained for a new high-paying computer career. And don't forget the demand for computer professionals continues to grow. So call them today because the sooner you make the call, the sooner you can say goodbye to your dead-end job. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. With 7 locations all over town, there's bound to be one convenient to whereby you live. And Fast Train offers you job placement, financial assistance for people who qualify too. With day, night, and weekend classes, no excuse, no more to stay in a dead-end crappy job working for peanuts. So get yourself by the end of the summer a great new job and a career that goes along with a big fat paycheck that you'll be getting. Check them out on the web at fasttrain.com and then make that call. And please don't forget, tell them that the unctuous obscene Todd Dreck told you to call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
I am Frau Ileana Ross-Leitman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from jewels and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour.
1, 2, 3, 4. My baby won't eat no If you wanna look great, lose a lot of that weight. Get yourself a cow and eat the whole damn thing. But you can't have cheesecake. No, you can't have cheesecake. And no apple pie down at the Burger King. If your fat is shaking, pound the eggs and bacon. Soon you'll be as skinny as that Clay Aiken. If your blood is obscene, load up on the protein. And before you know it, you're a sex machine.
Maybe somebody ought to send Michael Powell the Atkins book before it's too late, you know what?
Okay.
Because it looks to me like he's ballooning up big time, and I'm concerned about poor Michael. 12:03 at 560 WQM. They just showed a poll, CNN poll, on should gay marriages be recognized as legal in the U.S.? 32% yes and 64%
no.
Which is all the more reason why this whole thing is obscene.
Yeah.
Bigotry, hate. See, for example, if they would have had before blacks were given a right to vote, if they would have taken a nationwide poll, if we had...
Right. Or women.
No, well, see, women are almost 50%. We're talking about minorities. Women, at least population-wise, are just about even, maybe a little more than men. But I'm using an example of people who represent a small minority of the population. And so when the majority can vote on whether those people have rights or not, it's insanity. You can't do that. The whole concept of the Constitution to protect minorities from that kind of tyranny by the majority is exactly the opposite of what they're going to do.
You better
know
your
we're not going to
place.
have a vote. We're going to have a vote in Congress. I beg your pardon?
You better know your place, Feige.
Oh, I do know it. It's called Canada. And Amsterdam and Copenhagen and Germany and all over the world. All over the rest of the world pretty much, except, of course, for real backward countries. Oh, excuse me. Now, getting back to this, this is really great. David Denby, I'm so glad somebody faxed this to us from the New Yorker.
Yes.
The article called Nailed. Mel Gibson's The Passion of Christ. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to eliminate this one page because it just... But I will read the rest. Too important to pass over. Oop. He says, the Passion in its confused way confirms the old justifications for persecuting the Jews, and one somehow doubts that Gibson will make a sequel in which he reminds the audience that in later centuries the church itself used torture and execution to punish not only Jews but heretics, non-believers, and dissidents. I realized that the mere mention of historical research could exacerbate the awkward breach between medieval and modern minds, between literalist belief and the weighing of empirical evidence. John was an eyewitness, Gibson has said. Matthew was there. Well, they may have been there, but for decades it's been a commonplace of biblical scholarship that the Gospels were written 40 to 70 years after the death of Jesus, and not by the disciples but by nameless Christians using both written and oral sources. Gibson can brush aside the work of scholars and historians because he has a powerful weapon at hand, the cinema, with which he can create something greater than argument. He can create faith. As a movie maker, Gibson is not without skill. The sets which were built in Italy, where the movie was filmed, are far from perfect, but they convey the beauty of Jerusalem's courtyards and archways. Gibson, working with the cinematographer Caleb Deschanel, gives us the ravaged stone face of Calvary, the gray light at the time of the crucifixion, the leaden pace of the movie's spectacular agonies. Fellini-esque tormentors gamble and jeer on the sidelines, and at the time, the whirl of figures around Jesus, both hostile and friendly, seems held in place by a kind of magnetic force. The hounding and suicide of the betrayer Judas is accomplished in a few brusque strokes. Here and there, the movie has a dismal, heavy-souled power. By contrast with the dispatching of Judas, the lashing and flaying of Jesus goes on forever, prolonged by Gibson's punishing use of slow motion, sometimes with Jesus' face in the foreground, so that we can see him writhe and howl. In the climb up to Calvary, Caviezel, one eye swollen shut, his mouth open in agony, collapses repeatedly in slow motion under the weight of the cross. Then comes the crucifixion itself, dramatized with a curious fixation on the technical details, an arm pulled out of its socket, huge nails hammered into hands, with Caviezel jumping after each whack. At that point, I said to myself, Mel Gibson has lost it, and I was reminded of what other writers have pointed out, that Gibson, as an actor, has been beaten, mashed, and disemboweled in many of his movies. His obsession with pain, disguised by religious feelings, has now reached a frightening apotheosis. Mel Gibson is an extremely conservative Catholic who rejects the reforms of the Second Vatican Council. He's against complacent, feel-good Christianity, and judging from his movie, he must despise the grandiose old Hollywood kitsch of The Robe, The King of Kings, the greatest story ever told, and Ben-Hur, with their hallmark twinkling skies, their big stars trading across sacred California sands, and their lamb like Jesus, whose simple presence overwhelms Charlton Heston. But saying that Gibson is sincere doesn't mean he isn't foolish, or worse. He can rightly claim that there's a strain of morbidity running through Christian iconography. One thinks that the reliquaries in Roman churches and the blood and ravaged Christ in Northern Renaissance and German art, culminating in such works as Matthias Grunwald's 1515 Insheim altarpiece with its thorn Christ in full torment on the cross. But the central tradition of Italian Renaissance painting left Christ relatively unscathed. The artist emphasized not the physical suffering of the man, but the sacrificial nature of his death and the astonishing mystery of his transformation into godhood, the resurrection and the triumph over carnality. Gibson instructed Deschanel to make the movie look like the paintings of Caravaggio, but in Caravaggio's own flagellation of Christ, the body of Jesus is only slightly marked. Even Goya, one of the Goyim, who hardly shrank from dismemberment and pain in his work, created a crucifixion which kneeled with a nearly unblemished Jesus. Crucifixion, as the Romans used it, was meant to make a spectacle out of degradation and suffering, to humiliate the victim through the apparatus of torture. By embracing the Roman pageant so openly, using all the emotional resources of cinema, Gibson has canceled out the redemptive and transfiguring power of art. And by casting James Caviezel, an actor without charisma here, and then feasting on his physical destruction, he has turned Jesus back into a mere body. The depictions in The Passion, one of the cruelest movies in the history of the cinema, are akin to the bloody pop representation of Jesus found in, say, a roadside shrine in Mexico, where the addition of an Aztec sacrificial flourish make the Passion a little bit more passionate. Such are the traps of literal-mindedness. The great modernist artists are aware of danger of kitsch and the fascination of sadomasochism, have largely withdrawn into austerity and odd abstraction or into fervent humanism, as in Scorsese's Last Temptation of Christ, which features an existential Jesus sorely tried by the difficulty of the task before him. There are many ways of putting Jesus at risk and making us feel his suffering. What is most depressing about The Passion is the thought that people will take their children to see it. Jesus said, "Suffer little children to come unto me, not let the children watch me suffer." How will parents deal with the pain, terror, and anger that children will doubtless feel as they watch a man flayed and pierced until dead? The despair of the movie is hard to shrug off, and Gibson's timing couldn't be more unfortunate. Another dose of death-haunted religious fanaticism is the last thing we need.
Excellent.
And excuse me if I mispronounced many of the words in there, but what do I know?
Heathen.
Exactly. No, I'm not talking about those so much as some of the artists, and some of those people. At any rate, excellent. It's called The Nailed by David Denby in the New Yorker. I think we will put it on. Let's put it on. Tomorrow. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't forget the QM van right now as I speak with the very bizarre Scott. In fact, maybe we can put Scott on the cross. No, that's bad. Noon to 2, now to 2 at the Shell gas station on the corner of 136th and Sunrise Boulevard. That's Panther Parkway. You can stop by to register to win a pair of front row tickets to an upcoming Panthers game. Plus, the first 5 people who showed up have probably already been there, don't you think?
I'm sure.
Who show up to the van get a pair of tickets to see the Caps game this Friday. It would be nice if we find out if 5 already showed up so that other people don't go rushing over there and then Scott will say, "Oh, too late. Too late, I got him. I'm going to be there." WQAM, hello. Not there. Boy, I guess maybe too much reading, huh? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you? God, I didn't know
Okay.
I'd get through so quickly. Hey, just one comment on this Christ film. At what point are they is violence going to stop? In other words, it's going to be up to somebody else, like do a film on like the Holocaust and this, you can do a suffering of any people, in other words, and make it seem terrible to garner sympathy.
Right.
Don't you agree or no?
I don't think really the intention was to go. I think, number one, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's a fanatic religionist, number one. And number two, all the publicity he garnered because it was so violent. If it wouldn't have had all the violence in it, I don't think it would have gotten even 20, maybe even about 30% of the publicity that's gotten. That's one of the reasons that everybody is talking and writing about it.
I absolutely agree. But I thought he was doing it to convey a message of kind of sympathy, as George said. Oh, look, he suffered this much for your sins, yada yada. But
I mean, if he took, I grant you, he took $25 million of his own money to make the movie, but they're projecting that he's going to make at least $25 million profit. If he were to say, well, I'm going to take that $25 million in profit, I'm not going to take one dime of it for myself, and I'm going to give it all to Catholic charities or all to the starving and the poor in Africa or whatever good cause, then I'd say, well, at least he's doing something good with it. But he's just lining his own pocket.
Wow, are Catholic charities a good cause?
Like I said, like a really good cause. Have a great day, Pally. I'll pray for you. 12 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM. It's the last mortgage you'll ever need. It's the only one mortgage from Financial Group. The benefits are positively incredible. You pay 0 closing costs, 0 application fee, 0 credit bureau fee, and 0 discounted points. Get the new low interest rate at just 1.25%. If you have a $100,000 loan, your payments are a mere $334 a month. If you have a $200,000 loan, you pay only $668 a month. And don't forget, once you refinance or get the new home mortgage from Financial Group, you'll never ever pay closing costs again. Don't forget that new toll-free number. Write it on your butt. It's 1-866-395-LEND. Get the low-rate mortgage you deserve and then move on to your next property with no further cost or expense. You pay zero underwriting fees, zero doc fees, zero closing costs, even when you move to another property. So get yourself that new unbeatable low financing rate of just 1.25% with the only one mortgage from Financial Group, and never, ever, as in never, pay closing costs again. For details, call 1-866-395-LEND. That's Financial Group at 1-866-395-LEND. They're an equal housing lender. Restrictions apply. Rates are subject to change monthly. 4.21 APR.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Increíble.
There he was, just a-walking on the sea, singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He's the man from the land of Galilee, singing, do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He's good, divine, he's good, divine, changes water into wine. The next thing I knew, we had a lame man on his feet singing, do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. The blind are gonna see and the dumb are gonna speak singing, do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He walked on through my door, walked on through my door, then he cured a leper's sores. Whoa, some say he's the Son of God. Yes, they do, but there's other people think it's so odd. Now he's the reason that we have an Easter day singing, do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. And he's the reason that all the Christians pray singing, do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. They praise him, kneel down, praise him and kneel down, the man who wore a thorny crown. Do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. Do-I-did-it-did-it-dum-did-it-do. Do-I-did-it-did-it-dum, he's a Jew. Do-I-did-it-did-it-dum, he's a Jew. Oh! Do-I-did-it-did-it-dum, he's a Jew. Do-I-did-it-did-it, he's a Jew.
Okay. 12:17 at 560 WQAM. Lansing Diocese reports abuse by 19 priests and deacons. Remember Deacon Dolson?
No.
You saw that movie.
I remember Deacon Justin.
With Jack Lemmon? I can never think of the name of that movie. Damn it. You will, though.
Okay.
21 allegations of child sex abuse were lodged against 19 Catholic priests and deacons in the Diocese of Lansing between 1950 and 2002. I'm not going to read this whole thing because every diocese in the country are going to be having these reports pretty soon. From Toledo to Geneva to Ishpeming to Ypsilanti. I will say this, though. I think I've got a revolutionary idea that could solve a great many of these problems in the Catholic Church, especially in the priesthood.
Yeah?
You know, the whole idea of confession, which, of course, is insanity to begin with, the idea that some mortal being can sit and absolve you of all your grotesque things while he's sitting there listening to your most intimate, detailed sexual activities and rubbing himself raw. Oh, I can't say that. But at any rate, whatever he's doing.
Beads.
I say that from now on we change places. And all you Catholics out there who are still supporting the institution in one way or another, when you go to confession, you have the priest sit where you used to sit, and you sit on the other side.
You sit on the comfy
And you slide open that little door, that little sliding door, and he will confess all of his sins to you. And of course, meanwhile, you will have a wiretap on you, and the authorities will be listening. The pedophile police. What do you think?
Good plan.
Yeah.
Then they will fear you.
Sounds like a plan, that's right. 5670560, pound 560. So the good religionists again have brought up as divisive an issue as they possibly could with the whole gay marriage thing, and they want to hang it like an albatross around John Kerry's neck. The only problem being, of course, is that he has consistently opposed gay marriages. He's in favor of civil unions, which is the cop-out, the easy way out, like most of the Democratic candidates and the others. Civil marriages. So you're almost equal. I mean, isn't this good enough for you?
No.
Almost equal.
Like equalish.
Right. So in other words, it would be like saying to black people, well, we won't let you ride all the way up in the front of the bus, but how about like in the middle of the bus? I mean, it's a big improvement over Rosa Parks being way in the back of the bus. I mean, she had the gall to sit in the front of the bus.
What do you want to be in the front of the bus anyway?
That's right, because if you have a crash, you're much more at risk than if you're like in the middle.
Besides, there's all those white people up there and they don't really like you anyway.
Right. And of course, if these people happen to be going to Temple...
Right under the bus,
Stuck in the middle with Jews. But anyway, well, it's an idea for a bit. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line, and you'll notice the usual South Florida, they're whipped up into a frenzy, man. All their favorite radio shows are going to disappear, cable TV is going to vanish, and it won't be too long if these Nazis get elected again before they'll find some way to control what you can do and see on the Internet. But, right, where there's no sense, there's no feeling. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's Woody Graber. How you doing?
Okay, Woody.
With the FCC ruling, does that mean you can't say my name anymore?
No, we can't say Woody. We can say W. Graber. They like hearing W a lot.
Oh, okay. W is good. Yeah. Listen, I missed the.
No, W is not good. W bad.
W very bad.
Get it right, Woody. I get it right, W.
Anyway, listen, I missed that Alyssa Milano picture yesterday. Are you guys going to have like a gallery where people who miss photos can go back and catch the photos that they missed?
Are those on there? Under features?
I don't
Can
know,
you get
I
that?
guess. Why don't you go check it out and let us know, Woody?
Well,
look at what he just said. Mr. Graber.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Graber. He just said your name again.
W.
Uh-oh. I'm going to have to change my name, I guess, huh?
I would change it to like Walter would be good. Walter Graber. That's a nice, refined sounding name. That would be.
Or Dick.
I mean. See ya, W.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I got a little change of a topic. I want to talk about Jason Williams for a minute.
Okay.
Look, you say whatever you want. I don't care. I mean, you don't need the job. You only got the wife and two kids. What do you need the job for?
Yeah.
You got that nice place you can go to in North Carolina.
Sure.
And just hide away, Just slip away. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir?
Do you like it from the back?
WQAM, hello.
Hello, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Hello, Neil. I'd like to pose an important question. If we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan to free them from tyranny, who's going to do the same for us?
Canada.
Canada, you're right.
Canada from the north, Mexico from the south, and maybe Guatemala might help out. 567-0560. Why do I ever expect anything different? Am I a moron? Yeah, after almost 30 years, and I expect something different. A little bit of outrage, a little bit of shock, a little bit of dismay, and it makes no difference. That's the problem, America. You're so passive. That's the problem. They can just run roughshod over whatever the hell you like, whatever you want, whatever you do. You don't care. It's like Howard Beale all over again. Just leave me alone with my pop-up toaster and steel-belted radios, and that's all I ask, and my little 17-inch TV. God. WQAM, hello.
Hi, is this 560?
Yes, sir?
Hi, I was wondering if I could talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, listen, I wanted to find out, is there any way, like, who we could talk to or write letters to as far as, the FCC, them spending the money on all these stupid investigations when they could probably be spending the money on prisons and trying to keep these people in jail that are going around hurting kids and things like that?
Well, if you pardon the expression, it would be like farting in a windstorm, okay? I mean, if you want to expend the energy, you can certainly do it, but they're not going to pay any attention. I mean, if they got 5 million letters and telegrams or emails, it still wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to you all the time. I listen to Howard Stern, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, you guys don't say stuff that, that's outrageous, I guess. But I mean, it's what's outrageous.
Nobody ever got injured from anything that Howard Stern or Neil Rogers or Mancow or anybody else ever said on the radio. Even little children know that the words don't hurt people. So this whole childish episode that they're dragging us through is an embarrassment. The only way the public can put a stop to it is in November at the election, if we have one.
Yeah, well, I plan on. I will definitely be there at the polls in November, and I hope my vote, makes a difference.
I hope that they count it.
It's really, exactly. It's really ridiculous the way things are becoming these days. What happened to if you don't like what's being said, change the channel.
Exactly, that's right. What happened to choices? What happened to people having choices to listen to what they wanted and read what they want and watch what they want on TV and not having Big Brother? That's the hypocrisy of all of this. These are supposedly the conservatives who are against Big Brother and big government, and then in the meantime, they're the worst in the history of this country, which is why real conservatives like Pat Buchanan are up in arms and writing everything they can against them.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like people that the money where the money should be spent is, like I was saying before, Build more prisons and keep these scumbags that are out abducting kids and killing people and
Right.
hurting kids.
Yeah.
So use the money
All
for
the
something
pedophiles
just
that
like
they keep putting back out on the streets, for example.
Exactly, like that poor little girl up in Sarasota.
Yeah.
You know, that should have never happened. And I think that's what needs to be investigated.
Amen. I'm with you, man.
All right, well, you have a good day, Neil.
Vote early and often, please.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And the guy that faxed that thing the other day, I guess it didn't all come out, so he faxed it again about registering to vote. And he's right on target. If you're not registered to vote, then what are you babbling about? I mean, George would go register to vote, but of course he's an illegal alien. I mean, he's a...
I can vote anyway.
Vote anyhow. Just get some phony ID. In fact, Clarence will have to get some phony ID.
They sent the driver's license. It was a box I could have checked.
There you go. 5670560. I mean, it's about time the American public started getting really pissed off, regardless of what you feel about gay marriages. I don't think most people are really all that fired up. Is it like a big issue with most people? No, only the religious fundamentalists, because it helps them to express their hate. That's what. And again, keeping in mind that this was going to be the compassionate conservative, and they were going to bring the country together instead of dividing us. I can't imagine at any time in my life recalling when America was as divided and as polarized as it is right now. Divided right down the middle between people who understand a pluralistic society where not everybody believes the same thing or watches the same thing or reads the same thing or says the same things, or a bunch of fundamentalists who want to dictate to all the rest of us.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Marriott Marquis. This is a big day for the Walt Disney and Muppet family. Let me introduce to you the members of the dais. Over there on the far right is the CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation, Mickanold M. Mouse.
Just go with Mickey.
Sorry. His assistant, Remus.
I'd just like to make a big... Shut up!
Representing the Muppet Corporation, Kermit the Frog.
Good morning.
And his agent, Scott Boris.
Hello.
Sitting next to Scott Boris is the Telly Monster. And now the man who will be speaking on behalf of the Muppets. Please welcome Super Grover.
I have a brief statement to make, and then I will open the floor to questions. On behalf of the Henson family and our beloved leader, Jim Henson, may he rest in peace. The Muppets have one thing to say. Holy sh**. We never thought in a million years we would be sold. This is crap. Thank you. I will now take your questions.
Super Grover, what about the layoffs of the Muppets?
We have been assured by Mr. Mouse that the layoffs will be minimal.
Is that true, Mr. Mouse?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm not committed to anything. I'll take a look at the whole furry package and cut it up like a pepperoni.
I don't know what. Mr. Brown over here. Kermit, will Muppet characters be joining the Disney characters at the theme parks?
Good morning. We basically don't know what the hell is going on. The sale kind of took us by surprise.
Louder, please.
So I guess we'll deal with it as it happens.
Mr. Boris, question, Mr. Scott Boris, can you tell us your role in the negotiations?
I basically put the whole thing together in my spare time. I've been working with the A-Rod thing, but this has been my baby, my puppy. I think it's a match made in heaven.
Mr. Mouse, question over here, please.
Mr. Mouse, how about the relationship between you and Mr. Frog? I understand there's some tension between the two of you.
I'll tell you what. Let's get this out in the open, because the worst thing for the media would be if we both just got along. You know, we haven't kept in touch since we've been so far apart, but we came up together, and we often talked about one day working together.
You got him, everybody.
You can yap, son. There was a threesome with Piggy back in the day, but it's all bourbon under the bridge. All right, that's it. That's it.
Did you say
Pretty disappointing, huh?
Yeah, whatever.
You don't think?
Hello? Oh.
I was all excited there. No, that was just at the end of the... You want to hear that again? Just one second. 1 second, please.
20392-3096.
Well, that's not it. Well, you can't hear it again.
Oh, well.
Anyway, it's 27 to 1 at 560 WQAM. We got 20.7% of this audience are going to go see Passion of Christ, whether we like it or not. I don't really care. I mean, like I said, it's a free country as of now, and so far they can't tell you which movies you can go to see if you want to pay to go see them, as of now. Why can't we bring back that Catholic, what do they call that during before WW2? Or during that period of time when the Catholic Council, geez.
What do you mean before? They're still doing it.
They are?
Sure. Remember that hotline? We called it on the show once, I think, over in the other place.
Yeah.
There was a Catholic movie review hotline that I forget the name as well. But you can call and they will tell you exactly, not only will they give you a review based on quality, but whether or not it's edifying and whether or not the church thinks you should see it or not.
I see. Because I did see Priest, and you did see Last Temptation of Christ, and I have a feeling that in neither one of those movies was there anywhere near the grotesque of violence that there's going to be in this movie that's coming out tomorrow that a lot of people have already seen.
Not that I felt like they were pulling any punches during the Last Temptation. There was the blood and the thorns and the scourging and the nailing and all that. But there was also a nude baptism scene.
I see.
Because guess what? That's how they did it.
A guest at Jason Williams' mansion when limos, and I watched some of the trial yesterday. It was really, and I'm not really big on watching court trials, unless, of course, it's OJ, something really, really big that we all must see TV, that crap. Pretty interesting, the Jason Williams trial.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm starting to take a personal interest in the Jason Williams case myself.
Ever since you found out about that dog.
Yes. The one that committed suicide? Or was that Spot? Was that the Bush family dog that committed suicide? Stuck his nose right up the nozzle of the tailpipe. That limo. A guest at Jason Williams' mansion when a limo driver was killed by a shotgun blast fired by the retired NBA star testified yesterday that Williams ordered those present to tell police that the shooting was a suicide. See that? You got a limo, you got a suicide, all fits in again. Dean Bumbacco, I watched him yesterday. He was pretty convincing most of the time. Dean Bumbacco testified that Williams told him and others he killed himself. We all got to say he killed himself. Following that, we all got to say he killed himself?
He killed himself.
Asked if he knew the statement was untrue, Bumbacco replied,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bumbacco told the jury that he went into the bedroom immediately on hearing the gunshot, saw the shotgun fall to the floor, then watched the defendant fall to his knees and pound the floor. My God, my life is over, Williams said, according to Bumbacco. As wounded limousine driver Gus Costas Christofi gasped for air, Williams picked up the gun, wiped it with a towel, put it down, and then told another guest, Kent Kaluko, to wipe it again, and he did, Bumbacco said. Williams then wiped the gun a third time and went to the victim. Mr. Williams tried to put the gun in his hand. I don't know if he got it in, and tried to close his hand around the gun, Bumbacco said, obviously to get the victim's fingerprints on it so it looked like a suicide. He soon saw Williams coming down the hallway naked and wet. Williams handed his navy blue pinstriped suit to another guest, John Nudnik. J.G., get rid of these, Williams said, according to Bumbacco. Kaluko and Gordnick have pleaded guilty to evidence tampering, and Kaluko also pleaded guilty to witness tampering. Bumbacco was never charged. Bumbacco, a landscaping contractor, had been to a Harlem Globetrotters game and dinner with Williams and others before going to the mansion. Christofi had driven members of the group. Bumbacco was the first witness to testify who was in the house at the time of the shooting that night. Previously, the jury heard from 12 witnesses since opening statements February 10th, but no one who was inside at the time of the shooting had testified yet. The jury has seen dozens of pictures, including images of Christofi lying dead on a rug in Williams' master bedroom, as well as the wound in the driver's chest. Prosecutors have also displayed the double-barrel shotgun that Williams was handling, as well as 4 other shotguns, 2 loaded, and a loaded rifle that were in a gun cabinet in the bedroom. However, testimony on Thursday that Christofi apparently tried to protect himself was ruled impermissible, and the jury was told to disregard it. Forget about it. That opinion came from Dr. Stephen M. Diamond, chief medical examiner for Hunterdon County, who concluded that Christofi was in a defensive mode because the driver had blood spattered on the palm and fingers of his right hand and burns on the inside of his left arm. Through their questions, defense lawyers are suggesting that the investigation was shoddy and aimed at implicating Williams from the beginning. The defense maintains the shooting in the early hours of February 14, 2002 was an accident and that the shooting was prone to malfunction. Is that kind of like a wardrobe malfunction?
Something like that.
Explosive. Williams is accused of aggravated manslaughter in the shooting and also is trying to make it look like a suicide and persuading witnesses to say they were downstairs. Now here's the person who faxed this to us has got like all kinds of commentary. It says, I saw this guy interviewed on HBO's Real Sports. He was saying that this was the first time he'd been with Williams, while Williams was back in his element hanging with his homies. Williams was talking a lot of crap, saying, I'm the king of New Jersey. My money is longer than train smoke. He also said that Williams embarrassed the limo driver at the restaurant, saying to him, what the F are you looking at, mother effer? What are you, a effing Fed? The poor guy was just minding his business while sitting at another table watching what was going on. The driver got up clearly embarrassed and headed toward the door before Williams told him to go back and sit down. Later at the house, this guy heard Williams shout, yeah, mother effer, just prior to the gun going off. He's a scumbag, and I hope they lock his ass up, and I would say...
Absolutely.
Thanks for faxing me. There's also a good article in the Post on this, but this one's better in the Daily News. Got it?
Got it.
Excellent. Okay, we got about 700 votes or close to it on the poll so far. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of Christ movie? 704 votes, like I said. I will see it. 149, 21.1% are going to donate their cash to Mel Gibson. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing, 117. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 112. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 103. I might see it if I hear it's good, 96, and especially if I can get a bootleg copy free. I definitely won't see it, 91, and non-believers should just ignore it, 36 out of 704. 21 till 1 at 560 QAM.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The most controversial movie of our time, Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, recently became available for home viewing on cassette. Religious groups, miffed at the release of the film theatrically, became outraged on the event of its home distribution. And so, for your spiritual edification, and for those who don't have VCRs or the price of a movie ticket, we are proud to present, live, Part 1, the radio version of Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. Oh! Ah!
Hey, buddy, want to buy a hot stereo?
Gee, I'd better not.
Okay.
And so the controversy continues. Tune in tomorrow for Part 2, Martin Scorsese's The Second Last Temptation of Christ. Good day.
Okay. 1243, 17 to 1 at 560 WQM. Let's get those phones smoking, baby. Take a look at that phone right now, okay? Nothing moves these bastards in South Florida except free tickets. You guys have some tickets, huh? What do you got for free? What are you giving away today?
Traffic tickets.
Yeah, we'll give you some tickets, okay? And we'll make sure Randy Moltage don't take care of you at the ticket defense team. We'll give him a list of names. I like that idea that I had about reversing the roles between the confessors and the priests.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll decide if we want to forgive them.
Yeah, all you peons out there, you go in and you put on some kind of a robe, okay, something that makes you look real official, and you sit where the priest used to sit, maybe a bat robe. Oh, no, not when you're sitting with the priest. Oh, not a good idea, especially you young kids. WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I'm mad as hell, and I don't want to take it anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
Here's one.
You know, this commissioner, you read a little paragraph that she said about that she's outraged that the networks are out there just to line their pockets with this outrageous titty show.
Right. Uh-huh.
Well, isn't that the point of their business, that they're publicly owned mega-national corporations?
Yeah, God forbid anybody should try to get ratings because they're going to put on something that somebody would want to see.
Well, this is what I have a trouble understanding about all this. How is it that these corporations, which own these networks...
You don't understand, sir. The only corporations that are supposed to make money are Enron and Halliburton and Bechtel and Lockheed and the ones who are in bed with the administration. Those are the only ones.
Well, then I don't understand why GE and all these companies that own the networks would be so behind Bush. What do they think they're going to sell if cable is being censored now, too?
You don't understand. You're missing the whole point, and that is that this deregulation business, they've got them over a barrel with that, because if they oppose the administration, if they put anything on the administration doesn't like that Reagan miniseries, for example, then the administration isn't going to look so favorably on the exemption that they made when they passed the law. They did it specifically for Viacom and for, I think it was, GE. I forget what the other company was. They passed it specifically for two companies, so that instead of 37, they could have like 39% of the stations in an individual market. That was specifically done for Viacom.
So there was definitely a quid pro quo in
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
And then we've got the other thing, is that we have the Secretary of Education. Thanks for enlightening me to that, Neil. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And then we've got the Secretary of Education calling the largest union in the United States that has more teachers, calling them a terrorist organization?
Absolutely correct.
I mean, when are we going to wake up here?
We're not.
I'm getting the passport. Thanks, Neil.
Okay. See you at the falls. That's right, I was going to get to that. Education Secretary Rod Page called the nation's largest teacher. And by the way, did you see the clip they had on CNN? They keep showing it a few times at the governor's conference.
No, not with audio.
El Presidente speaker. And he was going up and down the line with the governors. And of course, when he got to his big fat-ass brother, the Jebster there, your governor, folks. Man, oh man, it was enough to make you want to barf. We did it! With that guilty look on Jeb's face. Oh, we did it. Can't believe you're in here, bozo, but we did it. We stole it. And we're going to do it again. Wow. And forget about this bozo. How is it that you people put Jeb Bush back in office again, okay? He told you he was going to lie to you. The voters went to the polls. They voted on the class size amendment, and he had his devious ways of getting around it. And he's still talking crap. No matter what you do to the public, man, they just roll over and play dead. Anyway, Education Secretary Rod Page called the nation's largest teachers union a terrorist organization during that private White House meeting with the governors yesterday. Democrat and Republican governors confirmed Page's remarks about the NEA. Those were the words. The NEA is a terrorist organization, said Democratic Governor Jim Doyle of Wisconsin. Democratic Governor Ed Rendell of Pennsylvania said he was making a joke, probably not a very good one. Of course, he immediately divorced the NEA from ordinary teachers who he said he supports. I don't think the NEA is a terrorist organization, said Rendell, who's butted heads with the group as well. They're not a terrorist organization any more than the National Business Organization is a terrorist organization. Neither the Education Department nor the NEA had an immediate comment on Page's comments. Both indicated that statements were forthcoming. No child left behind my ass. Oops. Sorry.
Behind
I know. Keep getting carried away. Here's a fax that just came in, which I'm not even going to read ahead because since you sent it to me, it must say something. It says something.
Or not.
In regard to Mel Gibson's movie, it says, and this is at Charleston Deerfield Beach. Isn't it? I can barely read it. I think the main point that all of these religious nuts have completely glossed over is that if you do in fact believe a story that God said his only begotten son to earth for the sole purpose of dying for our sins, then obviously someone was going to have to kill that son, now weren't they? Jesus, of course, couldn't facilitate things himself by committing suicide because, as we were all taught, to do so is in itself a sin. So there's certainly no drama in dying by accident or from natural causes. Therefore, it's only logical that whoever killed Jesus was acting as God's tool and acting at God's will.
Tool.
So I put it to you, how can there possibly be any blame delay for something that was supposedly preordained by God to happen anyway? And, of course, when you say something was supposedly preordained, according to the religionists, the Jesus Christers, everything is preordained by God because he's omniscient and he's omnipotent. So when you're going to die from cancer, when you're going to fall off the edge of that cliff, God knows ahead of time that that's going to happen, which makes it even sicker than it was in the first place. The whole concept. Anyway, Charles is in closing as a confirmed agnostic.
All right.
I can't believe I've actually given this much thought to any of this nonsense. I'll see you in purgatory, Charlie. We'll have a great time. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. If only the people of South Florida would be as exercised about what's happening in America today as they were about Elian, then maybe we get a little response here, you know what I'm saying? Get the people foaming at the mouth about something that means something when they're like infringing on your rights, like the First Amendment right. And then one day when they wake up and all these shows are gone and all the things they like on cable are gone and MTV is gone and all the books that they want to read are gone. And keep in mind, by the way, that they were under the name of the combating terrorism. Oh, we're going to go to the library and we're going to keep track of all the books that you take out.
Of course.
Right. We're going to go to the Blockbuster in Hollywood Video and check out and find out all the videos that you've been renting and buying.
Right. You might check out Lawrence of Arabia. And
God forbid. No, that's okay. The Saudis are okay. They got problems now. They're running out of oil. And schmatzes. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. I don't know why President Bush isn't in accordance with what's happening in California with the gay marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how many votes he could get, you know, if he would be, you know. If
I know. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't you love the ones that try to, like, program the show and get you to, like, be like a parrot and play the little thing?
About 30, man.
Oh, I did it. 5670560. I'm just gonna play all Alien bits the rest of the week. That's all I'm gonna do. Because that's important in South Florida. And I don't want to say to certain segments of the community, because it's all a community. Your priorities are up your ass, okay? Can I still say that?
No.
Your priorities are up your pie hole. It's pathetic. It's tragic. And all of this started over like a little booby. A little booby. Oh, no! using that as an excuse now to appeal again. And if you people who listen to this radio show, if you want a bunch of fundamentalist lunatics to decide what you can listen to on a radio or how you can spend your time, how can you live your life, then somewhere along the line we've lost contact. Like that guy used to say, you've lost contact with your audience. You've lost touch, as in touch this. WQAM, hello.
Hello, how are you today, sir?
Okay, sir.
I just want to let you know that on Bill O'Reilly's website, they mentioned you last night as being a bone of contention. How do you like that?
What does that mean?
They were talking about radio DJs that are so far to the left, and I thought that was just horrible what they said.
Well, don't waste your time on it. Don't waste your time with Bill Riley anymore, sir, and have a great day. We could care less. By the way, Bill Riley on his radio show in South Florida still got the big O0. Doesn't even show up. Really putting the crimp into Rush, isn't he?
Squirt.
Wow. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. That's right, because we have to get all those leftists off the air. We all have to goose step in a line. I thought it was Bill O'Reilly who was just a couple of weeks ago apologizing about the Bushmeister, huh? Yeah, wasn't he apologizing? Well, he's all over the place. You know, he's just a whore, only he doesn't admit it. At least I admit it. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Okay.
Oh, I'd like to speak to Neil, please.
I beg your pardon?
Is it Neil?
See, when you said Neil and I said yes, that would probably indicate that it was Neil, see, right off the bat. And when you said, how are you today? And I said, okay. And then, what happened there?
Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. Listen.
Well, maybe I gave you the wrong answer. Maybe I was supposed to say...
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh! Neil, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore either. I'm a former right-wing asshole, and we cannot let this guy Bush back in office in November. This country's going to turn into a police state.
It already is.
Well, it's close.
You're chuckling. You chuckle all you want. It already is.
We're going to lose our right to free speech. We're going to lose our rights to walk the street. That jerk, that judge he let in.
Right. That's week. Right.
He's a religious nut. He let off a cross burner because he thought
that is correct. Another recess appointment. See, he waits for the opening and he sticks in another one of these right-wing lunatics, and if they put him in another 4 years, that's all you're going to have.
You know, I don't love John Kerry, but he's got to be better than this guy that we got running the country club up there in D.C.
ABB, man. Anybody but Bush.
Hey, how's things in Toronto?
Everything is fantastic. The sun is shining and life is sweet.
I'll be up to visit you in a couple of weeks. Let's go.
All right. See you at the Pickle Barrel. Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Everything is beautiful. Like I said, the sun is shining. The birds are chirping. The chickens are diseased. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, George. How are you?
Hi.
Forgive me if you talked about this already, but did you see the piece on 60 Minutes about the Patriot scandal on Sunday night?
About the Patriot Act?
Patriot missile scandal.
Oh, the Patriot missile. No, I didn't see that because I'd already seen it. I talked about it. It was on CBC months and months ago about the fact that the Scuds that they allegedly knocked down back in the first Gulf War in Israel, not one of them hit the target. All of them missed.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, I was living in Israel then during the first Gulf War.
Right.
And ironically, they told us the truth there. We knew exactly that nothing was hitting.
Yeah, there wasn't a single Patriot missile that knocked down any of those Scuds, not a single hit.
No. And in fact, they knocked down several U.S. flyers, which was the real tragedy. But the piece went on to say that since then, they have not done anything to improve the accuracy, and they are still selling them by the thousands and thousands to all kinds of third world countries.
Well, that's Raytheon. That's another good buddy of our...
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Of the Bushmeister.
That's Bush's father lying to us. What do you supposed to think the son is going to do?
Exactly.
Well, okay.
Good luck to you, pal. I'll
Bye.
see you in Buffalo on the way over. Let's see. We had another... where the hell is it? Oh, yeah. Got all kinds of stories here. It's only $3 billion, writes Matt Bivens in The Nation. The Pentagon contracts with companies for work and pays them enormous sums of U.S. taxpayer cash. Then when those same companies don't pay their U.S. taxes, the Pentagon shrugs and gives more taxpayer cash? The GAO, an investigative arm of Congress, recently examined Pentagon and IRS records. The conclusion, as of September 2002, many thousands of Pentagon contractors weren't paying their taxes to the collective tune of $3 billion. It's not ancient history. Contractors who did Pentagon business last year, in 2003, represent more than half of the $3 billion, nor is it a case of the contractors simply can't afford to pay. The Pentagon in 2002 shelled out $183 billion in contractor business. The GAO estimates that last year the Pentagon could have easily collected $100 million of what the government is owed from these Bermuda patriots simply by withholding back taxes from their contracts. Instead, Don Rumsfeld's boys collected about $687,000, or far less than 1/100th of what they could have. In fact, if we got serious about simply enforcing existing rules, GAO guesstimates we'd be bringing in an estimated $100 million every year. Taxpayers for common sense call it an honest-to-goodness free lunch on a dazzling scale, provided, of course, we have the common sense to take advantage of it. Unfreaking believable. Talked about Halliburton and the criminal charges. Oh, and here's another beauty before we do the break.
Okay.
Close relatives of President George W. Bush continue to benefit financially from the Iraq invasion, as revealed by sources including regulatory filings. St. Louis-based Engineered Support Systems, EASI, where William H.T. Bush, an uncle of George W. Bush, joined the board of directors in 2000, is a major military contractor. William H.T. Bush is a Bush pioneer, a contributor raising more than $100,000 in the 2000 and 2004 elections. Following the 2000 election and 9/11, the company's federal contract revenues and stock price have increased. The company declined to comment for this article. And it goes on about all the money they got in 2001, and $330 million in 2002, and $380 million in contracts in 2003, and yada yada. They're just sticking their hand right in your rectum and raping the crap out of you, boy. And the bottom line is, ain't life great?
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Buttheads, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
Absolutely.
Back in the day when someone done us wrong, we didn't take their crap. In Pearl Harbor, when the Japs dropped their bombs, we bombed them back. And now the Saudis, they hit us hard. And on our cars, our little flags wave, as that Saudi-loving retard points the bombers the wrong way.
Promotes the welfare of children.
And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where they follow Bush like sheep. The United States of arrogance, led by Bush and his family, greed. They got this country up, ambling towards the darkest days in our history. I don't want to be a Pax American in the goddamn USA.
No.
What's a few thousand innocent lives? Stop living in the past. If you want that SUV to drive, you're gonna need more gas. It's the greatest country in the world. They train us to believe. And anyone who says that, obviously, can't afford to leave. And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where we patriotically wave a flag in one hand with our head in the sand and blindly follow the powers that be. Apathetic up, watching State Front News on a 65-inch screen. Scratch your balls and fart, everything's okay in the goddamn USA.
God bless America.
103 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you. So the New Yorker article nailed by David Denby that I read not all that well, it's on our website.
All right.
So you can read the thing in its entirety and also without my mispronunciation. You can read it to yourself and mispronounce in your mind, silently. Paris Hilton directed sex video. Skanky, nasty, needle-nosed bitch. Reality TV star Paris Hilton directed and helped shoot the notorious sex video starring her and an ex-boyfriend that has surfaced on at least 2 internet porn sites according to documents filed for an L.A. court hearing. The documents were filed by Seattle-based Marvad Corp. asking a federal judge to dismiss a lawsuit by Hilton's ex-boyfriend, Rick Solomon, on the basis that Hilton, best known as the star of the Fox reality TV show The Simple Life, also held rights to the video. Hilton's manager had no comment. Hilton's a 23-year-old socialite bitch and member of the family that founded the Hilton Hotels chain. Solomon, 35, claims Marv had violated his copyright by distributing clips of the video on its website, sexbrat.com. That's sexbrat.com. The lawsuit filed in November in U.S. District Court in L.A. also accuses Solomon's former roommate, Don Thrasher, of stealing, copying, and selling the videotape to Marv without Solomon's permission. Thrasher said publicly that Solomon agreed to sell the tape and actually received half of the $50,000 in proceeds. We'll take the rest. Thank you. Who the hell would want to see her even with clothes on, you know?
Yeah.
Man, she is nasty.
So what was that website again?
The Schmidt Candy.
I'll get it. Sexpervert.com or something?
Pervo.com. Let's see, it's sexbrat.com. We don't want to repeat it too often. Sexbrat.com. Oh, I love this. The Vatican issued a report yesterday by non-Catholic sex abuse experts who criticized the policy adopted by U.S. bishops of removing abusive priests from the ministry, saying it was overly harsh and would not protect the young. The report was released days before U.S. bishops. It's going to be on the 27th in 3 more days. The report was released days before U.S. bishops issued their own national survey on sex abuse by clergy, which is expected to find more than 4,000 American priests have been accused of molesting minors since 1950, far more than previously estimated, although I'm sure just the tip of the iceberg. Still, the U.S. study made... What?
You said tip.
Of the iceberg. Lettuce. Move on.
Alone.
Again. Naturally. Still, the U.S. study may also show the number of cases of decline. You know something? That might be the new format. We might have just stumbled into a pile of crap. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just see how long we can keep that baby going.
Sure, you start.
Still.
Waters.
Run.
Deep.
Into. If you say Uranus, that's it. That's it. I mean, we found that there probably was water on Mars. Not a good idea. I'm not playing this game with you. I'll wait till you go. In fact, I'll wait till I go on vacation. Then I'll do it on the plane. I'll just sit talking to myself.
Me and Josh will play.
Good. I'll bet you will. WQAM, hello.
Why are we in Haiti?
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. They've lost it now. They just went off the deep end. I think that new deal we got, I think that really threw them off. Oh. 5670560. It's obvious that this audience is really highly motivated. They're whipped up into a frenzy. They're foaming at the mouth about fascism in America, and they're crazy as ever. I think this is a good excuse. Put them over the edge. Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
WQAM, hello.
Hold on to what you got.
WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
I don't know if you picked up Jeb Bush was talking about.
Yeah, get a new phone, pal. Get one that works, okay? Wow. That was incredible. Actually, he might have had something to say. I'm not really too sure, but get a new phone, one that really actually has got like batteries in it and works. That would be a good start. Line 9 is always very entertaining. There's nobody on it though at the moment. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, where's your audience?
Up your ass. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Yes, that's with Neil, please.
Speaking.
Mr. Rogers, I'd like to ask what your opinion is on
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
That was Woody.
Yes, it was.
We better start voting for Frankenstein. I mean Lurch. I mean John Kerry right away.
Yeah, okay.
The way they're going to start censoring Sesame Street the way things are going.
Are you suggesting that we've been left in the lurch? Is that what you're saying?
I think we've been left in the lurch. And it's
I'll tell you one thing. I'd prefer being in the lurch than to being in church. I'll guarantee you that
They're
right now.
They're already censoring Sesame Street. Remember the story about the HIV positive?
That's right.
In
that is
other
correct.
Countries?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Right. You won't see that in the good old USA. WQAM, hello. Hola. Buenos tardes.
Hola.
Not there. WQAM, hello. Feel like Richard Dawson again. WQAM, hello.
Do you get paid American money?
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, never mind. People are being slaughtered. What's that website?
Death.com. Exactly. 5670560, pound 560. Nothing's going to dissuade these people, not in South Florida, man.
No.
Nobody's going to get them all depressed, morbid. Nobody's going to warn them. And you know what? The only thing that will get him whipped up to a frenzy if his alien comes back and doesn't get his Happy Meal. I guarantee it. You can bet your life on it. Bet Maris Greasy ass on it. WQM, hello. WQM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to say to everybody that you are doing screenless.
Yeah.
So, can I talk to Neil? Those people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, they're getting right to their sound right away. They're not waiting. They're getting right to it.
Anyway, how after the censorship laws and everything, how are we going to say the president's name? So he has to be out.
Yeah, you're right. We can say Kerry, but
you
can't
say like
Bush.
President Furry Patch of Hair.
That is correct.
All right, now have a good day.
You too. Have a good day. Wow. We certainly made a turn this hour.
Wow.
What was it? Was it
know.
something that one of us said? Maybe it was something that Josh said.
Good lunches.
Huh?
Yeah.
What did you have?
No, I didn't have any. Maybe they did.
No, nobody brought nothing in today? Well, no wonder you sound a little bit.
Going out with Boca Brian for lunch. Of course, I'll be buying now.
Oh, Boca Brian that keeps, emailing me stuff that I can't play on the air.
Yeah.
Not because it's over the line, but because technically. 790 votes. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ movie? I'll tell you one thing. It's put this audience right into their misery. Out of their misery. I will see it. 169, 21.3%. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing. 125. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis. 123. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me. 118. I might see it if I hear it's good. 112. Oh, it's great. It's sensational, man. It's fun. I definitely won't see it. 102. And non-believers who just ignore it. Only 41. So I think what they're really trying to say is we can't just ignore it. It's a little too impotent to ignore.
Watch me.
Or something like that. Yeah, me too. Me too. We got bigger fish to fry. 12 minutes after 1 at 5:60. We got the Mad Dog at 2. We got the Humper, the Hebrew Hammer at 4. Hank Goldberg. Hurricane warm-up at 7. The Seton Hall Pirates and the Miami Hurricanes basketball. Hurricanes at 7:30. You got Eddie K following the basketball game. Joe and Mark overnight 2 to 5 in the AM with their prestigious Unmatchable show. Here's something that's pretty damn good too, and that's Anorex Diabetic. It's a delicious meal replacement drink that's made for people who have diabetes, but anybody looking to cut down their sugar intake can drink it, enjoy it, and love it. Anorex Diabetic is sweetened with Splenda, which, unlike aspartame and saccharin, doesn't leave you with that nasty aftertaste in your puss. Recommended by doctors and dietitians for people who can't sacrifice proper nutrition just because they're in a big fat ass hurry. Anorex Diabetic is a completely balanced nutritional supplement that provides you all the essential vitamins and minerals you need for a healthy life, plus fiber, antioxidants, and it's low in saturated fat and low in cholesterol too. Anorex Diabetic is also gluten-free and lactose-free. An 8-ounce can provides 237 calories of easy-to-digest nutrition. Try Anorex Diabetic once, and you'll never, ever go back to whatever you're drinking before. Pick some up wherever you're doing your shopping today. Pick it up at Sedano's, Navarro's, Eckerd's, Walgreens, Publix, CVS, other local pharmacies, too. It's all over the place. In fact, if you'd like to try it for free, just give them a call or go online, and they'll send you a free 2-pack, full-size samples, 1 vanilla, 1 chocolate. Just call their toll-free number, 1-866-368-3739, or tell them that Neil sent you for the delicious one, and get an additional special gift for having the cojones to mention my name. Or faster yet, order online at enterexdiabetic.com and just click on for free samples. Call that toll-free number today and get your free 2-pack in the mail. Call 1-866-368-3739.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Absolutely.
Howard Dean was the front runner for sure, till he self-destructed one day. Maybe it was the endorsement from Al Gore. He said, with my help you'll run this country. Oh, but not when you placed third behind the whole pack. Hadn't won any states without any help from his missus. But his concession speech was so funny. Howard Dean has lost his mind. What was that scream all about? Go eat maple syrup, 'cause Dean's dropping out.
Yes.
Dean's dropping out.
Well, it's a little bit dated, but it was worthwhile. 117, let's see. Hail Mary, somebody just faxed this. Oh, this is a chronic faxer, okay? But it's kind of cute. Huh?
Yes, it is.
It's cute. Hail Mary full of gas. Tell Mel Gibson and the FCC to stick it up their ass, is what it says.
Rectum.
Well, there's a word in front of ass, but we don't want to say it. Maybe I should read it again.
Okay.
Hail Mary full of gas. Tell Mel Gibson and the FCC to stick it up their f***ing ass.
There you go.
There, a little bit better. Better reading. 5670560. The calls are getting really good this hour. I knew we'd get some really great calls to the show today. It's just sometimes they save it toward the ass end. Don't say ass too many times.
Careful.
I know. LA Times, speaking of times, says in health, Canada tops USA. Oh, no. Our neighbors to the north live longer and pay less for care. The reasons why are being debated, but some cite the gap between rich and poor in the U.S., eh? It says, Judy Foreman writes in the LA Times yesterday, want a health tip, move to Canada. An impressive array of data shows that Canadians live longer, healthier lives than we do. What's more, they pay roughly half as much per capita as we do for the privilege. How do you like that?
I don't.
Exactly why Canadians fare better is the subject of considerable academic debate. Some policy experts say it's Canada's single-payer universal health coverage system. Some think it's because our neighbors to the north use fewer illegal drugs and shoot each other less often with guns, though they smoke and drink with gusto, albeit somewhat less than Americans. Still others think Canadians are healthier because their medical system is tilted more toward primary care doctors and less toward specialists, and some believe it's something more fundamental, a smaller gap between rich and poor. According to a WHO report published in 2003, life expectancy at birth in Canada is 79.8 years versus 77.3 in the U.S. 79.8, that's 2.5 years longer. Japan's is even longer, 81.9. Huh. It's on our website for those who care. Huh? 5670560. Oh, line 9 is back again, I'll bet. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. Hey. I'm listening to you from Indiana over the internet. I got to
tell you,
you've got a great show.
Yes, I do.
Absolutely great.
The callers suck, but that's South Florida for me. It's a good idea to stay in Indiana. Do not go to Florida. You'll regret every minute. I'm telling you.
It's not too much better
up here. It will rot your brain. Now, where in Indiana are you?
Northern Indiana, up by... huh?
Near the Michigan border?
Yeah.
I used to live in Howe, Indiana. You know where that is?
Oh, you poor guy.
Right across from Sturgis, 1966 and 7, Sturgis, Michigan, WSTR. I was the program director, yeah.
I know where Sturgis is, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, what I was calling about is, it came to mind, I think these conservatives are really missing the boat with this, with the gay marriage.
I wish they'd get on it. I wish they'd hop on the boat and get out of town.
Well, you know, if they're so concerned about the sanctity of marriage, why aren't they proposing a constitutional amendment to ban divorce?
Right.
What's up with that? I mean, I couldn't
care
less if two guys want to get married. That doesn't hurt me.
And for the president to come on there and say this is an important national issue at a time when our soldiers are dying over there in Iraq, when we aren't going to have the elections by the time they're trying to turn tail and run there in July or June, when all these grotesque things are going on, when we have all these people without health care, and he's trying to say that this is an important issue, who the hell is he kidding? Most people don't give a flying crap about this except the bigoted right-wing religionists that he's pandering to.
It's election year.
You bet.
It's election year.
Yeah.
You know, let everyone get married to each other and let them smoke a joint at the reception. Who cares?
But you know something? What's going to happen, though, is this. I really believe this is going to blow up in their face because when the public sees how really bigoted, narrow-minded, and divisive that these people are, they're not going to like it. Even the ones who don't support gay marriage or, aren't that interested in the issue, they ain't going to take a liking to it.
Oh, but there's no bigotry involved. Gary Bauer was on CNN.
I saw that. I saw it before. I almost puked on the board, and I haven't even eaten yet.
It's what everyone has been doing for 3,000 years.
Right.
So that
and of course, slavery was something they were doing a lot longer than 3,000 years on the face of the earth. So therefore, it must have been a good idea.
Well,
I mean, what kind of nonsense is this?
Change is bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, keep up the good show. I love it.
I'll see you in Windsor, eh? Okay, I'll see you in the border at the old Ambassador Bridge. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. You ever been to Northern Indiana?
No, but I heard Indiana wants you.
Don't. That's what Ardeen Taylor told me. I like that song, Ardeen Taylor. In fact, we got it somewhere, don't we? Somewhere around. In fact, I might have it.
Still play it.
I might have it here. Let's do that one-hit wonders again, shall we?
No.
Come on, let's threaten the audience with that. What up with that? Oh, there's nothing worse than old farts trying to be cool, you know? Oh, brother. 820. See, I've told you this a long time ago. One thing about me, I was as cool as an inferno in hell when I was born, and I'm still about as cool as that, as square as a cardboard box.
No, you're hip, Daddy-o.
Yeah, like the Mo Man.
Absolutely.
I'm not square.
Absolutely.
I'm hip. I'm the hip meister.
Absolutely.
Get out of here, Mo. Go change your piece. 822 votes on there. Pretty good, huh? We got them whipped up into a frenzy. They like the picture of Sofia Vergara and her ass on the beach.
We got a couple of ass pictures on there today.
And they really like the picture. I tell you, her ass is like small potatoes compared to Michael Powell's enormous, gigantic.
Rectum.
In fact, I would say, judging from that picture, I never seen Mr. Powell in the Altogether before, that he is all ass. 822 votes. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ movie? I'm going to go see it. I will see it, 176, 21.4%. They're going to go do it. They want to see some blood and guts. Ah! Even a pope would be proud of the marketing, 131. And he would. He's jealous as hell. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 126. Maybe they can be part of the government. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me 122. I might see it if I hear that it's good, 120. Yeah, I definitely won't see it, 107. And non-believers should just ignore it, 44. Bury their head in the sand like the old proverbial ostrich. Or Österreich. By the way, did I ever tell you the Austrians are much bigger Nazis than the Germans?
Yes, you
I just mentioned that in passing. Oh, despite a tight budget and legislative concerns about, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Talk about fat-ass Governor Jeb. Despite a tight budget and legislative concerns about a looming fiscal crisis, Governor Jeb Bush again is pushing to eliminate a tax whose average payer is a millionaire. It's a tax on the middle class, he said during the rollout of his budget last month. I guess it's all relative, you know. Middle class compared to him and his family. Cutting that tax, Cindy Hall of the AFL-CIO, would be an affront to decency and fairness. Our workers can't afford stocks and bonds, she said during a recent news conference. The intangibles tax, as it's known, is levied on investment portfolios worth more than $250,000 for individuals and $500,000 for married couples. Anything held within a retirement account is exempt, such as cash in a savings or checking account, which effectively limits the tax to the wealthiest 1.3% of Floridians. There you go. It's in the Palm Beach Post today. So again, like I said before, how anybody could have voted to put Jeb Bush back in there again after he just stuck his foot deep inside your bottom. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And, of course, maybe nobody did vote for him. Maybe they just fixed the numbers again. That's possible.
That is possible.
Does anybody really believe we'll ever get the accurate count in Florida election again?
No.
It's enough to make you die bold. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Michael Powell will ever tackle the issue of Celia Cruz videos?
Yes. He says, in fact, I talked to him yesterday. He said the most obscene thing I've ever seen.
Man, if he does, then I'm voting for this administration again.
Do you ever see the two of them together, by the way? Well, you will on our website, believe me. Joined at, well, you've heard the expression joined at the hip. I think you'd say joined at the neck would be a good.
I am Celia Cruz and I am dead now, but I remember when I was alive. I will lead
Wow, what a cow that Celia is. You can see Celia and Michael Powell together again in stereo right on NeilRogers.com today. It's a beautiful thing. Don't look at it right after lunch.
Okay.
We should have probably put a warning on there. I did mention that article from New Yorker is already on there because Eric is right on top of these things and because we didn't have one of those building polls and all kinds of other cock-a-rock for him to do, even though you didn't fax him the poll this morning.
Yeah,
which I'm just well, you just want to keep on your toes. That's all, Eric.
I had my head right up my
Because the more time we have him at the keyboard, the less time at the refrigerator. We're trying to do him a service. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi. I'm one of those guys that voted for Nader back 3 years ago. Yeah, thanks. But I think
want another one? And let me ask you something. Are you going to do that again, sir?
Oh no, that's why I'm calling to tell you that I think this year the stakes are much higher, and I think what a lot of people are not seeing is that this was also a vote for the Green Party and a vote for third party politics. Whereas now I think
that's a dead issue.
Nader is kind of probably a little bit egotistical in this.
Just a little tiny bit, right.
I don't believe Al Sharpton saying it's a Republican conspiracy, but I think both him and Howard
Sharpton's
Dean,
a good one to talk about that.
Well, I think both him and Howard Dean have interjected a lot of, emotion into this race, and Dean got a lot of the young kids out, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we have a good shot at getting that ass out of there.
Excellent. Vote 40, 50 times, man. I'm telling you, that might actually count once or twice.
That's why I moved to Florida.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Pally. I'm going to tell you right now that John Kerry will win Florida, the Kerry Edwards ticket. Mark it down. Write it on your limp wrist.
I'll mark it down.
Write it on Josh's earlobe, okay? If you can get that piercing out of there. 27 past 1 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of schmutzy things, the carpets in your home, you're walking on them, you're rolling around on them, your pets are doing God only knows what on them. And after a period of time, they start getting really nasty. Now, you may not see it with your naked eye. I hope you're not that much of a slob. But deep down in the fibers of your carpets is schmutz, man. It's bad. Because it makes your carpets wear out faster, and I don't smell all that good either. Do what I've been doing for over 20 years now. Call my good friends at Dry Concepts before you think about doing anything else. Dry Concepts is the best in the world at bringing carpeting, no matter how filthy, back to life because they make them look brand new by dry cleaning those carpets. They leave them vibrant in color, soft to the touch. They smell lemony fresh. They dry in a couple of hours. And I guarantee you, it'll look to everybody like you just had brand new carpeting laid right there on your floor. They also do a stupendous job of cleaning your area rugs, your oriental carpets, your furniture, your upholstery, your drapery, all of these things. So if you want an unbeatable job at a guaranteed written price up front, do what smart people have been doing for a long time. Call Dry Concepts. And when you do make that call, ask them to put you on their standby list, which can save you an extra 15% on your next carpet cleaning. Call them today and tell them that old Neil told you to call toll-free 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071. Or log on to their website at dryconcepts.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Any worse than Neil Rogers.
Hey guys, you wanna cheer up? Have Britney sit on your face. Make that old acne clear up when Britney sits on your face. Forget about your wife or girlfriend now. Kneel and say grace. Better shave off that beard and stash their aches. Pick up the pace. You're really gonna love it when Britney sits on your face. Imagine the view above it when Britney sits on your face. Bent over, it looks like a frown when Britney starts sitting down. Britney sits on your face. Yeah, Britney sits on your face. Imagine Britney Spears leaving her clothes all over your floor, knowing in just a minute or two you're gonna score. Wipe off that dingy beef stew before Britney sits on your face. Careful not to bite or chew when Britney sits on your face. Stop dreaming and clean up your place, 'cause she wants a brand new face. In your dreams.
All right. 131 at 560 WQM. Don't look now, but the QM van is right in front of your nose. I mean, if you're at the corner of 136 and Sunrise. Don't look now, but it's Scott.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Are you still alive?
What am I going to say?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to give him a little plug because I have no idea. See, unlike the olden days when we used to get like some kind of a report about what's going on when they go out on these things, we don't even find out. I mean, granted, this isn't a fundraiser kind of a thing, and certainly not a fundraiser, that's for damn sure. But till 2 o'clock, another half hour, the QM van is on the corner of 136 Panther Parkway in Sunrise. Not too far from Steak and Quake. Rumor I'm hearing is that Steak and Quake, they're kind of falling apart, just like the burgers. Isn't that a shame?
That is a shame, but what are you going to do?
The shakes are great. That's what Janet said. She said you can't beat their shakes.
That was bad.
No, seriously, their shakes are the best at Steak and Quake, but their burgers, the meat is all like falling apart, and I don't know. Not the same. WQAM, hello.
Jumba.
WQAM, hello. Hola.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I listen to you all the time, Neil. I just called to say I love your show and keep up the great work.
Okay. Thanks a lot. And have a great day. He likes the show a lot, and I should keep up the great work. Keep it up, okay? Go see Alice. WQAM, hello.
Hey, can I talk to Neil?
Speaking.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
Listen, I have a question for you.
I'm listening. Turn the radio off, pal. Please. Okay, there's the question. That was good, right? Woo. Wow.
What's your answer?
Huh? My answer is...
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever the question was, the answer is...
Absolutely.
Or...
Absolutely.
Yeah. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, is this Neil?
Sounds like me, yes.
Hey, I'm just calling to say I'm going to the movie tomorrow. I'm a Jew, and I'll be wearing my Jew for Crucifixion shirt. Thank you.
Crucifixion, wow. Wow. It's the Yushki squad, man. The Jesus Christers, the Yushki people. We got the Yushki people in the movies. We got George Bush and the anti-fag brigade.
It's for your own good, you know.
We got all these other things going on, man. We got the war, the freedom of Operation Iraqi Freedom. How soon they forget. Operation Emancipation by Decapitation. It's just a wonderful thing. We got the Diebold people fixing them voting machines. I mean, what's not to like, right? What's not to like?
Good watching on television.
WQAM, hello.
Loan me $50.
Okay, how about
30, man.
Yeah. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I just want to let Neil know that this Sunday night on the C-SPAN, George Soros is going to be on at 8 o'clock.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe he can loan us all $50 million.
Okay, because I know. Oh, Neil, how you doing? All right.
Pretty good.
Yes. Because I didn't hear you talking about it, and I know you're.
Because I didn't know about it. He's going to be on what show?
It's going to be on Book Notes on C-SPAN 1.
Okay.
8 o'clock this Sunday night. That's it. Love you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. George Soros, who's going to be donating millions and millions more to help get Bush out of there. He said he's made that his life goal now. Guy's got more money than God. And he's going to donate as much as necessary to get rid of the Bushmeister and these fascists who have stolen control of the U.S. government. It's an ugly, grotesque, nasty thing. But at least we're taking care of nudity, that big flap at the Super Bowl. What kind of an adult, seriously, other than the real lunatic, fanatical, religious fringe, that 50-60%, what kind of a person really and truly could even care about 2 seconds of a boobie on TV, I mean, yeah, a lot of people wanted to see it because it got the hype of the century. Even this movie ain't getting the hype like that thing got. I mean, every 10 seconds, there it was on CNN and MSNBC and even Fox. Oh, it was disgusting and everybody's talking. But in the meantime, you'd see it again in the background. And so they put a little bit of a blur over the boobie, but you saw it over and until it was like part of your brain, whatever's left of it, right?
Right.
It was like brainwashing, man. They just stuck it right in there in the picture, too. Just stamped it right on your brain. But we're going to really start cleaning things up now, and it's just, like I keep telling you, the lunatic fringe has taken over. The inmates are running the asylum. Make no question about it, okay? WQAM, hello.
Yes, yeah, Prince Albert in the can.
It's kind of like a QM, as a matter of fact. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I have a question maybe that you could put on your poll one day. I was just wondering if you'd ever consider this. I'm kind of a young guy. I'm only 30 years old, but I happen to watch game shows a lot.
30, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that. And I was always wondering if you'd like to put on your poll the best game show host of all time.
Oh, we've done that.
Oh, have you? Well, I love your poll. I love your poll anyway, Neil.
Okay, man.
And I'm a straight male. I really do. Thanks.
Handle it with care. Have a great day. Thanks. He likes my poll. How do you like that? A lot of people are big on the poll, right?
Yeah, right.
5670560. I don't know where the hell it is.
Your poll?
Yeah.
Where's your magnifying glass?
I think I lost my... Oh, here it is. I wonder where it was.
I like Neil's poll.
Boy, it was a lot of work for that. Thanks, the Hebrew Hammer. WQM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I heard they're going to syndicate, actually. They're going to make Hebrew national. Yes, sir.
We did it!
Good. Do it again. WQM, hello. WQM, hola.
Hey, remember when you got caught whacking it?
WQM, hello.
Hi, Polly.
Wow. This hour is just the absolute best, isn't it?
So far.
Wow. This must be, all the fundamentalists must be foaming at the mouth. They must be coming unglued today, which is good. Every once in a while, kind of let it out of their system. WQM, hello.
This is Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I have a question.
Yes.
It stings.
WQM, hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
I'm going to change the subject a teeny bit because it's been bugging me since Sunday. And you being an ex-UM announcer, did anybody call or listen to the UM game against Tennessee on Sunday?
No.
It was, you've got to get a tape of the two guys that did that. It was the Beast with, I think it was either Brian London, I can't remember who was doing it with him.
Brian London is the Beast.
It was the Beast and some other guy, and it was...
It wasn't Clarence, was it? Was it Clarence Josh Darrow?
May have been. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was absolutely the
grotesque.
Worst. It was embarrassing. It
was
absolutely embarrassing. I'm a season ticket holder, so I usually go to the games, but I couldn't go on Sunday, so I had to listen. And I figured it would be, Zagacki, as bad as he is, or the Bookster, or somebody like that. But this was amateur hour at its best.
Oh, then it definitely was Clarence and the Beast. Yeah, well, they were probably doing a lot of extracurricular things in between, shots.
But it's just, if you get a chance, just, as far as it's called, just listen to 5 seconds of it. And
Okay.
It's hilarious.
In fact, we'll put 5 seconds of it on the air tomorrow if we can find it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Pally. Sorry, we apologize. Okay, we're very sorry about that. Don't we want to apologize?
Nah.
No, we don't? Don't forget, look for the QM van right in front of your house. I don't know. I keep reading that thing. I'm going to give away hockey tickets. Anybody care about the Panthers?
No.
Roberto Luongo, maybe the Hart Trophy winner, most valuable player in the league. He's unbelievable. Shut out the Bruins last night, 38 saves.
No.
Anybody care?
No.
Oh, sorry. Talking a foreign language again. I apologize. What's your take on the much-hyped Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ movie we're asking today? 885. I'll tell you what it's done to the audience. They're absolutely losing it. They're falling apart at the seams now. They're just like that.
Well, maybe when the movie comes out, they'll be saved.
I will see it. 192, 21.6%. Even the Pope would be proud of this marketing, 145. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 133. I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 131. I might see it if I hear it's good, 124. It's fabulous! I definitely won't see it, 113. And unbelievers who just ignore it, 47.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Were you drudge packing?
Get out of the car, Miss Ross.
I was driving by my own business.
Yeah, you're driving up the wrong way here.
I was minding my own business.
You can kill somebody.
I'll be quiet up there.
Whoa, what have you been drinking?
Driving through Arizona with a snoot full of booze. Talking on his cell phone and wearing designer shoes. When the cops pulled her over for driving recklessly, she said, don't you know who I am? You know who I am? I'm Miss Ross with a D. I'm Miss Ross with a D. Diana Ross got all loaded. Now she's going to jail. And she damn near exploded when a cop broke her nail. You broke my nail. Driving the wrong way erratically. To a video. The video. Listening to her old tunes on the car radio. Oh, man, I can sing. I'm a good
Now, what's your full name, ma'am?
My name is James Ross.
Could you say that again? I cannot...
James Ross.
Give me the alphabet, please.
A-B-F-P-O-C.
That's horrible.
Oh, shut up.
She was twice the legal limit
when
they asked her to blow.
I don't do that anymore.
Couldn't recite the alphabet.
A-B-F-C.
Couldn't make it to O.
I was a P.
She was screwing up the letters. She was juiced up as hell.
Mind your own business.
Now Miss Ross is gonna get her in a 9x9 cell.
I'm Miss Ross with a D.
Diana Ross got all loaded. Now she's going to jail. And she damn near exploded when a cop broke her nail.
You broke my nail, you cop.
Driving the wrong way erratically to rent a video.
I think I'm gonna puke.
Listening to her own tunes on the car radio.
147 at 560. I thought maybe if it didn't, I would cover it up. Anyway, here's the entire story before I get to that thing about the Sports Illustrated. That's been on CNN all day. They've had that kid on there with that magazine.
Yeah.
But first, here's the from the Tampa Tribune. A little bit more on it. DJ Bubba Love Sponge, fired by Clear Channel. Bubba Love Sponge Clem, whose graphic and explicit radio program prompted the largest proposed single fine against a broadcaster in history, was fired yesterday, according to a statement from his boss, Dan DiLoretto. Dan DiLoretto? Oh, my God. Is that incredible?
Who dat?
A radio schmuck. Dan DiLoretto, he used to be in Miami. He used to be at GBS, I believe. Dan DiLoretto, Vice President and General Manager, WXTB, 97.9 FM, owned by Clear Channel Communications. What did I just say? Clear Channel. Issued a statement on the 11 p.m. newscast at sister station WFLA 970 AM, Danny DiLoretto, oh my God, what a putz. He said Clem's contract had been terminated with the Tampa station and several other Florida radio stations that air the program Bubba Love Sponge. DiLoretto did not elaborate. Neither Clem, whose show aired mornings on WXTB, nor any other cheap channel executives could be reached for comment. In January, the FCC proposed fining San Antonio-based Cheap Channel $755,000 for material aired on Clem's show that the agency deemed indecent. The total also included a fine regarding the station's record keeping. Clem's show was popular. It was the #1 radio program in the Bay Area from 6 to 10 a.m. with people ages 18 to 34, according to the most recent Arbitron ratings show. Won't hear it no mo. Clem has been fined repeatedly for similar offenses, including a 2002 incident in which Cheap Channel agreed to play $30,000.
About 30, man.
For material broadcast in 1997. This article doesn't even mention the flap about killing the pig on the air.
PETA.
The PETA thing, you know. So there you go. Bubba Love Sponge, he's out. Now. He's out now. Get into this crap. Belpre, Ohio. I mean, does this ever stop?
No.
It's like a gigantic snowball that's gone out of control.
No.
A middle school suspended a 6th grader for 3 days after he refused to serve a lesser punishment for bringing a Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue to school, the superintendent said today. Justin Reyes had the magazine in the school's gymnasium before classes began February 15. Belpre School Superintendent Tim Swar said he swore to it. Principal Kathy Garrison punished Justin for violating the school's policies on nonverbal harassment and possession of lewd or suggestive material, Swan said. This is the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, lewd or suggestive material. Garrison ordered Justin to spend 2 days in an alternative school about 12 miles from Belpre Middle School, where students from several area districts take classes when they get into trouble. Swar said Justin's penalty was increased to 3 days of out-of-school suspension after he and his mother, Nicole, refused to accept alternative school punishment. He started serving the suspension today. Last time I checked, we were in charge of running the schools, he said. Nicole Reyes said the alternative school was too harsh a punishment. It wasn't like Hustler, Playboy, or Penthouse, she said. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. Although he had not seen the swimsuit edition. Oh, this is the best. Although he hadn't seen the swimsuit edition before this incident, Swar said he's looked at it since. I was shocked, he said. It doesn't belong in public schools. Before, Belpre Middle School, about 90 miles southeast of Columbus, serves about 550 students in grades 4 through 8. Wow. Is this scary or what? The Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Careful.
And this asshole, I swore that I would never read stuff like this again. He looked at it, he was shocked. It's indecent, it's disgusting. As America continues taking these gigantic, humongous steps into the Stone Age. Wow. So while you people have got the SI laying around, you better not let your little kids, the 15, 16, 17, 13-year-old kids see it. God only knows what they might do.
Squirt.
Oh, no. Not that. Don't even think about that. No mo. So no matter... I want you to understand this, okay, up until the last couple of days, till all these memos started coming out, broadcasting, and all these other facilities around the U.S. of A. Whatever you enjoyed watching, reading, thinking about before, no. Cut it out. When in doubt, cut it out. Stop it right now. Put it away. Stop.
No.
Now.
Cut it out.
Too late. Put it away. 151 at 560 WQAM. You don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's so juvenile. It's so pathetic.
Better laugh.
And like I said, all the politicians of both parties are just a bunch of weak-kneed wimps, simpletons, pandering assholes is what they are. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you? Let me just
Pretty good.
Portable radio down a second.
Turn that portable radio down, please.
I woke up this morning, Neil, and I was watching the L.A. police put a barrage of bullets through this supposed robber's back shield.
Yeah.
Because they said he was threatening to kill him, and it looked like he was just rolling backwards. But then I'm listening all day to how you're not allowed to say certain words on the radio. But
that is absolutely correct. Better watch it, pal. I'm telling you, they're probably tracing the call right now. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Neil, I enjoy listening to you. You certainly open up my mind in a different way. Thank you.
The word police will be knocking on all our door pretty soon, okay? So
I believe you, pal.
The best thing is to stay mum, okay? Have a great day, pal. Good luck to us. Just don't say nothing, right?
Right.
In fact, we're going to be doing the first show starting tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We're going to do for 4 hours like that. And then you can, respond. Now, of course, the word that George and I just spelled out does begin with an F. But unless you know bleep code, forget about Morse code. We got our own bleep code, okay? Where there's a will, there's a way. That's what George Will always said. Boy, let's send him away. 153 at 560 QM, your disgusting, perverted, filthy station, and we're proud of it.
We're Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Freedom's in, let's bury our hands. Freedom's in, let's bury our hands. This is the biggest rap I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Man serving a sentence when it's out of bad obscene.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
But it didn't work.
Yeah, Volker Bryant needs to redo this, or even Mitch Lewis, and stick in something else. Stick it.
Absolutely correct, sir. Oh!
Crackdown.
The right-wing nuts want to protect us from ourselves. You're gonna watch what you say, you better, or else you're busted, you're busted. The word police are monitoring every goddamn word I say and finding me. Like they say, this country's free.
You are violating of our puritanical Christian values. If you do not confess to being a subversive free thinker, we will kill you in the name of Jesus. You will live as we say, not as we do.
The word police, they want to bash in my head. The word police don't like the words that I said. The word police, they want my civil rights dead. The word police. The word police.
159 Mad Dog coming up next. Let's see the poll. 919 votes. What's your take on a Mel Gibson movie, The Passion of Jesus Christ? I will see it, 196, 21.3%. Even a Pope would be proud of this marketing, 151. Mel Gibson and his father are both Nazis, 142.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't watch it if they paid me, 135. I might see it if I hear it's good, 128. Oh, it's fabulous. I definitely won't see it, 120. Non-believers should just ignore it, 47. And all of us, regardless, are going to burn in hell.
Bye, bye, bye.
And
The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.